I'm Rezlar.
I'm Frosty.
As nobody's really engaged quite yet.
Yep. Oh, there we have been. Oh, was that a triple stun for the Mystic?
And welcome back to the Value Pack. Welcome everybody to another episode of the Value Pack. This week we have Nayashe joining us once again. Thanks for hanging out with us, brother.
Hey, thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
Hell yeah. Okay, so we're going to be talking about mostly class changes, buffs, nerfs, things of that stuff today. So hopefully you guys are able to take that kind of discussion because we're going to be talking a lot about numbers and that kind of shit. So first off, Guardian Awakening came out in NA, so that's a thing. Has anybody played it? Am I the only one?
I think you're the only one.
You're the only one who's played it. I've played against it extensively.
Yes, I have as well played against it. During my stream a couple days ago, I fought 3 or 4 different Guardians, but obviously they were still learning kit.
Right, yeah.
And I've also fought a few in Node War from Bassicor. I watched a clip actually of I wonder if I could find it, but there's a clip of a Bassicor Guardian diving into Unfair Advantage's base with their 100% and then using just like the big AoE thing, they kill like 9 people.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
funny. If you have enough gear, the AoEs are really, really strong for sure.
Yeah.
So as someone who's playing it, what are your thoughts, Rezlar? As someone who's played it. I don't think you play it.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I've only gotten it to level 57. So I'm not like maining it or anything. I haven't PvP'd with it. I have fought against it. As far as my impressions of it, just kind of grinding on it, messing around with it, enjoying it. It's really fun. The AoEs are extremely large. Even like the smallest of skills have like ridiculously large AoEs.
Yeah, that's true.
It's got quite a few protections, but it's all like frontal guard and super armor. There's not a lot of iframes. I know they have a couple, but they're like the longer drawn out animations are all super armors and frontal guards. But it's pretty fun, actually. I really like the skill effects, like the visuals, like all the like lava and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty dope.
It's pretty cool.
But yeah,
does the
fighting
slowness,
against it.
Does the slowness of the axe feel like when you use it though? Does it feel like it's hitting hard when you hit mobs and shit?
Oh yeah. They did a really good job of making you feel like Batman. I mean, making you feel like you're hitting something really hard.
Batman?
Like what? Batman.
Have you guys never seen that meme?
No.
Where it's like, I think it's from a video like forever ago where it was talking about how generic all like game reviews are, and it was like it was the game the Arkham Asylum Batman game, and it was just a montage of all these different like game reviewers going, the game does a really good job of making you feel like Batman, and then there was another guy, and they did a really impressive job of making you feel like Batman, and then there's another guy, and then they did a really nice job of really making you feel like you are Batman.
Oh god.
I think they call those the cool internet term for those are complisages. It's like a compilation of montages of these complisages. You got a sick complisage.
That once.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. I mean, it feels really satisfying. I mean, granted, I didn't grind anywhere that was like hard for me to kill, so like I was one hitting everything. But yeah, the animations feel really good. They're slow, but it's not like they're pointlessly slow. So I don't know. It feels really nice to me personally. I really enjoy the aesthetic of it. Again, my only concern is I feel like just the state of it's not really a Guardian issue. It's more of just a melee issue. Is like in large scale, it's just so hard for melee to do anything right now.
Yeah,
Alright.
that's fair.
So here's my thing with that. Well, one, it definitely has to play around players. Like you have to be with. You're not gonna solo dive like the Striker used to do back in the day, or anything
Or
like
Ninja
that.
Succession.
Yeah, unless you're against.
Or Ninja or Sorks or Kunos now.
Yeah, if you're sure Sork maybe. I don't know. Are you diving into a ball as a ninja or a Kuna and getting out? Let's not get crazy.
I mean, I think
I mean
think-
like ball. I'm talking about like ball fights because that's where Guardian's probably gonna have to be. But I'm saying you have to fight around people. And
All I'm gonna say is all the montages make me think all ninjas get all ball fights and just murder everybody.
yeah, that's not the case.
no
So
contages. Wait, what was it?
Contages. They're called ninja complisages, right?
Complisages. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But I do think so. They have 4 iframes, if I'm not mistaken, and they have one of them is kind of like mass destruction, so it brings you in a pre-awakening when you use it, and it's a little like side skirt with a stiffen on the end of it. So it's like
Yeah.
I think it's an iframe while moving, and then a super armor stiffen on the like attack.
Yeah, like a very slow but better version than Stigma. Got it.
Here we go. Listen
Calm
here.
down, Maywa.
Yeah, listen here, Maywa. All right.
Maywa brain here. All I hear is my class was nerfed.
When it's your turn to speak, I will give you the floor, Maywa. But Guardian has some range on its shit. So one, its block is just better than Warrior and Valk. Like just straight up, it is just better. It has super armor and it has like some of its skills have a lot. Like I don't mean like the AoE is big. I mean it's like slanted balance range. Like it shoots the fuck out. Like it's far away. So like you can get
they do
kills and like help your ball in a situation where you don't have to necessarily be point blank melee.
Yes,
So-
correct.
Yeah,
when I was
agree.
when I was grinding at Helms, I could use a skill at one pack, and if I aimed it in the direction of the next pack, I could kill both of them.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
So I think that helps mitigate that issue you're talking about, Rez, a little bit. But also, like, yeah, you're gonna need your gear, specifically DR, especially for
Yeah.
your block.
And also the health regen passive, that helps as well. But
Mhm. And it
like,
has a bigger
it's-
health pool than
yeah,
most classes.
it's better suited for large scale combat than any of the other melee classes. Yes, but I still think you're gonna find it struggling unless you have an insane amount of like DP. Honestly,
Right. So speaking on that, these Bassy Guardians were clapping people, man. Like, here's the thing, they're actually like pretty tanky. I mean, I don't know what I don't know what gear these people had in this Node War, but yeah, I had to full combo them, but you can't really. It's really hard to do a full extended combo on a class in a Node War when there's 25 other people around.
Yeah, it's very difficult unless you catch them out solo, kind of thing.
Yeah, so they feel tanky. It's just their skills are slow. So like for them specifically, I actually feel like they can do really well against most classes, but against like block jump grab is going to be like the bane of their existence. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. But class not my style at all, man. I've never liked axe classes.
Yeah,
because you're fucking lame, bro.
the slowness is making it definitely not my style, but
You're lame too, bitch.
I mean, I fought a couple on stream the other day, and basically, it was just extremely sluggish in both kits. It was pretty slow. Like what I was kind of mentioning to you guys earlier is we did a test to see what the speed of their movement abilities were, or their movement in general. And a simple test was we just sheathed our weapons and did a S spacebar for a back jump to do a comparison. And my class was jumping far faster than theirs was. I was basically doing bunny hops, and they were basically doing like fat man jumps. I don't know what's going on there. It was ridiculous. But yeah, it's pretty slow overall. Like I had no problems catching the Guardians I was fighting, but a lot of that has to be mentioned that they were obviously new to the class, and like it seemed like they were using a fair amount of unprotected abilities, so it was making it relatively easy for me to catch them. So I'd have to wait. I want to give it a couple weeks for people to get adjusted to the class and learn how to PvP with it before I give like a true.
Right. Yeah, it should be noted that everything we're saying about Guardian is obviously very early impression. And just because people are bad at Guardian now doesn't mean that the class itself is bad. It might just take time for them to learn.
I mean, once someone releases a video on how to do certain stuff, I'm sure like everyone will start learning really, really quickly. So, but one thing I thought was interesting was the Awaken Grab actually has a very small catch range. It's probably one of the smaller ranges I've seen. Like, most grabs like Warrior or Zerker, you can kind of be to the side a little bit and then still land it. Not with their Awakening, not with the Guardian Awaken grab. I was testing with it. I could be pretty much almost directly to the side before they have the potential to catch me. And I thought that was interesting. So it means that the grab is really hard for them to depend on.
Yeah.
I'm getting griefed
for an actual CC.
I'm getting griefed by a Kuno in my grand spot.
Dude, Kunos are the fucking worst players.
Yikes. Wait, Frosty, aren't you a Kuno right now?
He has to duel while I was talking about Guardian, but like I can't. I'm not gonna duel for a spot right now. I'm just trying to AFK play, with my brain off. But he flagged and attacked me and tiered 3 times, and I killed him all 3 times.
Yikes.
Monka did.
I'm assuming I'm not good at dueling and talking. Like I can grind and talk, but I can't duel and talk. So I'm gonna go ahead and assume you guys said Guardian needs nerfs. Is that where we were at?
Yeah. That's basically where we were at. Okay. Let me preface this with I'm well aware that there's not a lot of melee classes that do super well against Archer and large scale. But I fought a lot of Guardians in Node Wars, and every time they're like incredibly easy to kite. Like they just cannot catch up to me, and I am not even that good of an archer. So it's very easy to just stay away from them. There doesn't seem like there's much they can do about it. Now again, this might just be they don't know what to do, and less of a there's nothing they can do. I don't know. But I had no issues whatsoever staying away from Guardians in large scale. It was very, very easy for me.
Yeah, I don't think they're really a pursuit type class. They're probably just like a juggernaut that just dives in. I mean, they used to have an iframe on their main engage, so it's not an iframe anymore. So maybe they're not like that anymore. But and their AoEs are pretty large, like Frosty said, so maybe playing around the groups to help support and do slows and other damage. Like my main thing that I seen was I agree with you, Rezlar. They couldn't really catch me. I could just chase around. I basically had free reign over where I wanted to be. The slows were pretty toxic, but like it was like minimal. It's like definitely bearable to deal with. And it kind of felt like the design was intended to like make sure that we're so slow, but all our abilities are going to help us bring you down to our level. That's what it felt like. It's just like we're fucking sluggish as shit, and we're going to make sure you play the exact same. So I don't know. That was my impression.
I like their new slow debuff icon though. I kind of wish they would do that for everyone.
Yeah.
Just the wing
because it
that
does
has all the
casting.
buffs. Yeah.
Because it does the movement, attack, and casting speed slows. If they throw that axe at you, that it's unprotected, but that axe, if they throw it at you, oh my god, negative 50% across the board, dude.
Oh, is it 50% slow cast and attack, or just movement?
Yeah, and movement. It's fucking. I'm pretty sure it's movement as well. It's pretty bad.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was just movement. Yeah,
it is. It is unprotected, kind of slow to use though. So very rare they'll actually land it on you successfully.
It looks cool as fuck though.
Yeah.
It does no damage though. I don't even know. Does it even have a damage percentage on it?
I don't remember actually seeing my HP bar move when they threw it at me.
Yeah. Do you know, Rez? Does the thing have damage on it?
Which skill? Sorry.
The throwing axe that like debuffs?
Yeah, it has one. Yeah,
Was like
'cause I used it on mobs.
is it 75% times 1 or something?
I couldn't tell you honestly. I'm not looking at it, and I did not memorize the values of the class.
Yeah. So Guardian overall, its PvE is really good.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I've seen from
I'm-
some videos.
I've been seeing some insane videos at Starzen, at Succ, at Ackman with like
Ackman, yeah.
low gear Guardians pulling like really high trash.
Yeah, I've seen the same. They definitely, the AoEs are really, really, really good for PvE, and they just shred mobs.
Yeah. So I was trying to like, so they have in Awakening, they have, you know how a lot of classes have like a press space while you use this to
Yeah.
do like this
Mhm.
minor ability
This-
that doesn't really do too much.
Yeah, this like flow type thing for anything.
Yeah, like for Archer, it's Meteor Dive. You press space at basically any time you want, and it'll do Meteor Dive. Well, for them, it does this animation where she like kind of throws out a little bit of like lava, like kind of directly in front of her.
Mhm.
But the AOE that just that ability alone has is like pretty insane. And I'm well aware that that's ironic coming from an Archer with Meteor Dive. But I will readily acknowledge that Meteor Dive's AoE is fucking insane, and I'm telling you, this AoE is also fucking insane. Like, holy shit. For being on like a 2-second cooldown or something, and it being just like a little minor flow ability, that's fucking nutty.
It's still
It's
so
crazy.
weird to me that you're an Archer. Are you enjoying it still?
Yeah, I am. I get urges to reroll every now and then, but it's never from me not liking this class. It's always
Right.
like,
Just wanna
fuck, I
try
want to play
shit.
Zerker.
Yeah. Dude, you got to do the green weapon thing, man. I was testing the
that?
damage. So if you get a
Tri-green.
tri-green weapon and C20 it has plus 12 accuracy, and the AP on it's like actually decent. So it's like arguably better than a Tet Dandy because it has more accuracy and the AP is only a little bit less. So for Succession, it's like actually really, really good because you're not using your Awakening. So even though your Awakening AP is lower, your Succession AP is still, intact because your main hand.
Yeah, and you get
Right.
more accuracy to help it out, yada yada.
Yeah. So do you remember Isogram, the Dark Knight?
Yeah.
So he got one and wanted to test it on his Succession DK, and like we did an unscientific damage test, and it was like on average over the course, yeah, a very, very unscientific damage test. But the fact was that it was close enough damage that it was like negligible, and he has a pen dandy, so it's worth getting for alts. I'm gonna do it for Ninja and Kuno. Have like a green.
How much does it cost to C20 that?
You
though?
only
It
need
must be a lot.
490 Kaffir stones. That's it.
What?
Yeah. To
To
C20 a
C20?
tri-green. To C20 a tri-green, yeah. 490 Kaffir stones.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's super cheap. It's like $1.5 billion worth of Kaffir stones plus the cost of the tri-green, which is like whatever, 100 mil or 200 mil, and then that's it. You have a thing that's like as good or better than a Tet Dandy for Succession.
Holy shit. That's nutty.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that they did a pseudo buff to Dandy to kind of try to compensate and claim that it's better than that rather than nerf the green weapon.
Yeah,
don't
I
know
mean,
why.
I kind of like it for being able to try class. Because here's the thing with the Dandy is like, on one hand, like the dude has if you Kaffir's Dandy twice, which obviously is a lot of Kaffir stones, but you get 3 accuracy on the Dandy at level 2 plus the additional AP, so it kind of separates it a lot at that point. Just because the amount of AP. I mean, it's like 4. I forget what the math is, but the difference is like you're trading. If you have a Pen Dandy level 2, you're basically trading like 14 AP for 9 accuracy on a tri-green, which that is a pretty significant gap. But on a Tet Dandy, it's like no, it's way less.
Yeah.
So it's kind of good for alts.
Yeah, no, definitely. I would agree completely. Yeah, I mean it's like what a total of like 2 bill of raw silver
Mm-hmm.
to get to that point with a tri-green for C20. It's like super dirt cheap.
Yeah. Credit goes out to Kyrie Hartz, aka Lunar Lay, for that information. He has like 5 classes with tri-green C20.
Jesus.
Dude, I finally got this stupid burning Yank Seed event bullshit, dude. It never spawns for me.
Oh yeah, have you managed to get the final thing on the processing event?
I have, yeah. I grinded a
I
lot
haven't-
though, so I had
I-
a lot of seeds.
I have failed like 10 times on my first one. I can't. It will not go for me. I'm so annoyed.
You gotta go grind mansions to get a bunch. Like high density area, they drop a lot more.
Really.
What is this particular event?
There's this seed that drops.
I know
or
that
not
one.
a seed, but the remnants of Yank Seed or whatever, and you not the one that spawns, the item drop from mobs. And you heat
Yeah,
it.
it's an item drop.
Yeah, you heat it combined with the thing that you get every day for just logging in, which is called like a burning ember or something, ember or flame. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
the unstable ember.
Yeah, and it has a chance to upgrade, and it basically has to upgrade 4 levels all the way to roaring flame, and then you can exchange the roaring flame for like 20 crown stones or something. So by the end of the event, you get like 200 crown stones.
So basically, I'm gonna have a great time, just like I did with the necklace event, where I couldn't get a pen necklace at all for the life of me. So
You never got a pen neck for the event?
I couldn't. I kept failing, dude.
Feels bad.
I literally failed.
I got it on my
6.
first one.
I failed 6, and then I failed a series of 10 attempts and even 2 try attempts actually as well. And I was like, this is fucking bullshit.
Rip. Dude, I got all of mine done in like the second day, and like by week 2 of that event, like the start of week 2, I was like, dude, why the hell is this event still in the game? Everyone has this done already. What a dumb event.
That's my dumbass.
Poor Maywa over there though.
I got all of my shit done in like one day. It was like 5 days into the event. I had enough shit. I was like, all right, let me try and do all of this. And I got literally Pry, Duo, Try, Tet, Pen. I turned it all in.
My
was like,
other
holy shit,
main
I got
problem
lucky.
was my other main problem was I just kept getting necklaces. I wasn't getting as many snowflakes.
Yeah. And then after that, I got annoyed because my fucking Fisher's goddamn inventory was full with fucking necklaces and shit. I was like, get this shit out of my inventory.
Oh, ew!
bro.
They put it in the Fishers thing too.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
These burning seeds also drop from the fish or from fishing, so if you need extra,
Yes, correct.
they
Yeah.
drop kind of a lot.
Why don't they make those damn things stack? They gotta
These
be
ones
Oh, the
do,
necklace.
I
Yeah,
think.
these ones stack. The necklaces, yeah, that shit was annoying. The snowflakes should have
at least
stacked.
these. Yeah,
very
at least these new ones stacked then, because the necklaces and the snowflakes weren't stacked. And it's like, dude, I don't want to use 20 freaking slots on this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, crown stones. It's kind of like that farming event that gave crown stones. Helped me get my pen levers, so I can't complain.
Yeah, there you go.
It was like a whole attempt, basically, at the end of the farming one. All right,
Must
so
be nice pens.
you gotta go for them to get them
I'm like 0 for 40 something.
on a real
So-
stack, dude.
You only get what you click, man.
Yeah, my lever I got on my 24th attempt on a 170 or 169 or something.
It's not bad.
Okay, dude, this is how the game works for me. So I go almost a full day of grinding all day yesterday without getting a single one of those flames that gives you the buff. You know, the spawning
Yeah.
flame.
Yeah.
And then right now it spawns, and then on the next rotation a second one spawns on the other side. That shit is
Yeah,
so
that sounds about
bright,
right.
dude. It looks funny.
So I grinded for like 3-ish hours, maybe 4 hours yesterday.
Mhm.
And like 2 or 3 times I would see the text pop up, but I didn't see it. So I'm assuming it's just either above or below me or something.
Yeah, if you were at Ackman, it was probably above or below.
Yeah.
it's in the roof, dude. That's so sick.
It's like in someone else's rotation, but it pops up on my screen to like rub it in that they got it and I didn't. It's like, haha, I get fucked, retard. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it's the proximity alert.
Yeah.
It just happened to be relatively in range.
So, what are you guys expecting for Guardian Succession?
Honestly,
It's gonna be Sanic. It's gonna be lightning fast.
I think honestly that they should increase the speed of some of the animations,
Mm-hmm.
and that would help out the class a lot more with fitting in with how fast the playstyles are. But nothing too massive. I mean, I was kind of saying 20% earlier, but you're probably right, Frosty. Like maybe more like 10, 15% at most. Like 20% is pretty significant. But especially with the power that the abilities do have.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely should see us an animation speed increase across the board, and even just regular movement speed increase. I think that would be fair. And beyond that, it's a little bit too early for me to say anything else because obviously we're still waiting to see how players adapt and adjust to the skills.
Yeah, and it's still getting a lot of balance changes.
Yeah,
Here and
they're
there,
still
so.
doing a lot of tweaks to that damn thing. I think it would be fair to say a slight animation and movement overall increase would be warranted.
The game needed that style class, though. It's
It
actually
does.
kind of crazy because I feel like every game I've ever played has had some big, like, lumbering, dual wielding weapon.
Yeah, it's definitely more like a giant bruiser that has the potential to kill you with their AoEs, but it acts more like a bruiser, like
Yeah.
large AoEs and stuff like that. Stuff that slows you down, that just like makes your life miserable while you're dealing with all the other types of opponents that you're dealing with.
I definitely wouldn't want to be 301 DP against a Guardian. That's
No,
like above 270.
I'm 310, and I was getting smacked around a little bit with some of their abilities, but
Don't
there
get
again,
caught. Easy.
I just back chase and then recover. I can't catch
Yeah.
me.
Exactly.
Plus-
That's how I dealt with it at 301. I just ran away and poked him down.
I was like,
Plus-
ow, this shit hurts. Well, I guess I'll just, go ahead and recover over here.
Yeah, and plus Meiwa has grappling arrow, which is a ranged grab through super armor. So
What?
Yeah.
It is not. Don't even spread those lies over the podcast.
I mean, that's what it seems like. So Guardians are helpless against busted ass Meiwa, but it seems pretty good. I actually, I don't know. It seems like Guardian would be really hard to fight against a Zerker too.
Probably because of how sluggish it is compared to.
Because Zerker
But I
is
seen-
like fast.
I
man.
seen I actually seen a KR video, a montage, which take that with a grain of salt. It's a montage. You're not seeing all the deaths, but he was fighting a Zerker, and it seemed like he was holding his own. There was certain things he could do with his iframes to help kind of counter some of the things that the Zerker does.
Yeah, there's this one Guardian that's been putting up videos of he's been putting up videos of him dueling like different classes, and one of them was against a ninja, and like he probably lost more than he won, but it was like kind of surprisingly close.
Yeah, you wouldn't have expected the kind of results that you've seen, though. Yeah.
Yeah. When I sent it to my Guardian friends, they all got triggered. Yeah, they made all these, like, oh, the
You have
guy's
Guardian friends?
the guy has DP, that's why this and that. And I was like, yeah, but like everyone does in KR, like that's just what it is, man.
Yeah.
Ignore the fact that sometimes he didn't die in one combo, and just pay attention to the fact that sometimes he caught the ninja. That's the important thing, is he was catching the ninja.
Yeah, that's important facts. Not dying in a combo against a ninja. It's pretty hard to do these
Wait,
days.
you can do that?
Apparently.
I have that happen a lot now post nerfs. I don't get killed by ninjas every time.
Oh my gosh. I sent you guys that clip of the ninja with the face for
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
god,
it was so
I
funny.
know.
It's obviously
so dramatic, dude.
It obviously is over exaggerated because like he's basically not really doing any real combo to actually kill someone. He's just doing a bunch of abilities that happened to work before because he had massive damage. And he just like looks at you like with a just sheer disappointment.
That's what I was gonna say. It was like, is this an actual combo? Because I don't think I've ever seen an actual ninja do those skills
he's
before.
just sad. He's just sad that he can't ape his way into victory.
Yeah, because before you could go You could literally grab or whatever the CC was. You can use Moonlight to refloat and then Blade Spin, and they were basically dead. Like no matter what their TP was.
Yeah, it was actually insane. But yeah, no, the ninja couldn't do any of that shit at all. The guy had like 60% HP left after he did some like wonky combo on him, and then he just like looks at the screen like, really? This is what I'm doing now. I actually have to know my class, dude.
They're definitely I was testing a couple things with this one guy I know, he's 297 AP, and then Sammy, who's I think Sammy's 282. And the difference in combos, like the guy who's 297 isn't like very good at the class yet, so he was testing his damage on me, and most of the time he couldn't kill me, but then Sammy could with like a long, like perfectly done combo. So just depends.
Because he had a more optimal combo for damage. That's
right.
Why.
And I think that is enough. Like I honestly don't mind that much if someone can one combo me. It's more like if you can blow me up in 2 skills in a Node War, because a combo has risk, you know, in Node War or Siege.
And also, a combo has to be executed well.
Yeah, it has to be executed well. And
CCs need to not be resisted.
Yeah, you have to pay attention to CCs and all that. So it's like I don't mind it that much, even at high DP. It's just like that clip of Vicious, which I'm pretty sure is, but that was like it showed the PA buff, but I'm pretty sure he didn't actually have it. Have you guys seen that?
No.
So he's like walking, he PAs, and then starts. He PAs, walks forward, and then that guy, the ninja, him 69, does like 2 skills on him, and he dies from full health with PA on. But like, I'm pretty sure the PA didn't actually proc.
Yeah, I think it was a visual.
He had the buff.
Bug.
You can see it.
No, I know you could see it on the bar, but I'm pretty sure he didn't actually have the buff on his character, because I have fought him 69, and even at my DP with no PA, he doesn't kill me in 2 skills. So that's what I mean. It was like, I think that the PA bugged out, because that happens sometimes where you get PA on your buff bar, but you don't actually have it. It like bugs out or glitches. Node War things, man.
Yeah. I mean, those things, I guess, do happen.
Yeah.
If there's no one here that's going to claim that this game is not bug-proof.
Well, and because that was also pre-accuracy nerf, but the accuracy changes weren't that much. Like, it's not, ninja damage wasn't that bad, dude. Yeah. It wasn't like killing you in 1 skill through PA.
I mean, I'll admit the damage is definitely not that bad. How that perception was from how that video or that clip was. But...
All right. So since we're there, how do you guys feel about the nerfs so far? To all the class. So Succ got nerfs, Ninja got nerfs. I think we went over what all of them were, but
I honestly haven't had much opportunity to really fight a Succession Succ or a Succession Ninja since the nerfs. Probably because they all receded back into their little holes and re-rolled to other classes.
Oh my god!
But or went back to their awakening kits. But it's hard to say. I honestly think from the information I got from like Yellow, for example, when I was talking with him about it on his stream and chatting him up and trying to get his opinion, he thinks they're all very fair. He says I could still definitely kill people as long as I just do an appropriate combo. I can't just, like I said earlier, ate my way to victory. So, he says the main thing that he really is like not really triggered by, but is like he knows will really hurt a lot of ninjas that rolled to ninja just because it was OP was the movement adjustment. There's a cooldown difference of like 1 second, but it's massive from his point of view because that 1 second causes a gap in an opening that unless you're like really knowledgeable with the class to fill that opening, you're going to end up getting caught a lot. So, which is good. They need to have more openings with the kind of pressure and damage they can do.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I don't know. I mean, I played it only for a week after the nerf, but I think it's fine with even the cooldown change. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's fine. I don't think there's a new gap. I think it's more just like you have to be a little bit more conscious of how you're moving, whereas before you could literally just close your eyes and press your buttons.
Yeah, exactly.
To some extent.
I don't know how much it affected their PvE, but hopefully it kind of had some impact on.
Yeah, it
getting
did, but
PvE
not
now.
it really not much. So I tested in Succ, and I lost like maybe 90 to 100 trash. So it really wasn't that
Yeah,
much.
that's not near enough.
That ninja
Yeah,
I was telling
that's
you
not enough.
about, he has a video where, and granted, it was with a golden loot scroll where he got 7,700 trash. He normally pulls 5.3, and he said post nerfs he's down to 5.1
That's
in Succ with a normal loot scroll, and 7.7 with a gold loot scroll. So
I feel like that's kind of fine. I kind of wish it was a little bit more, but at the same time, they're not the only ones on the chopping block for that kind of stuff. Like Warrior needs to be toned down a lot for PvE.
yeah,
It's just too outrageously.
I do
better.
think most classes now can get pretty close to 5. Maywa included, not to throw you under the bus at Succ. Because the guy's gear is like 285.
Yeah.
It's not like not like
Yeah,
269.
Succ. I have a couple videos that I found where Mayos were getting like 4.6, 4.5, 4.7. So that's not bad. That's pretty respectable. I don't remember the gear off the top of my head, but I don't suppose it's anything low. You know,
Yeah.
it's like something you would expect to see for Succ.
Succ. Have you fought any Succ since the nerf?
Not since the nerf, no. Before the nerf, I was getting fucking destroyed by someone. I don't know who it was, but it's like they were just like beating me down with their one ability, and I had like no cooldowns to deal with it. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll just die.
Yeah.
But hopefully that's been kind of adjusted.
So I think the Succ nerfs are significant, and I don't think they're like so bad that like the class is bad or anything, but they were good nerfs overall. So then
Max re-rolling back to Scythe, I know that much.
but
I think he was
Silas?
planning on doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he planned on doing that anyways.
Yeah, Awakened Succ is
I don't-
still
I don't think that's necessarily a representation of where the state of the kid is. So he just likes the more complex play, and that's respectable. It's fine.
people are gonna hate me for saying this, but I actually think Succession Succ is fairly balanced, like overall. Like I know it's strong and hard to deal with, but
Now post nerf.
yeah, post nerf compared to like Awakening, I just think the issue with Awakening to me is that it's so easy to recover stamina that it feels like they have unlimited stamina, whereas like on Succession they have to use a frontal guard to get those stacks back, and it's really hard to recover stamina on Succession Succ.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean that's kind of like one of those things. Like when I was Awakening, fighting Awakened Succ, I feel like if I was fighting a skilled Succ, we could make the fight last almost forever.
Yeah. But the damage nerfs were noticeable. Bloody Calamity does way less damage now, so it really only hits hard on down targets or if you can get back attacks. Otherwise, it's just it's pretty mediocre damage, but it heals them and it's
chip damage
protected.
skill after.
Yeah, it's super armor and heals them, so it didn't need to be too crazy damage. And then Abyssal Flame, at least to me, is really significant. Like I feel like it does way less damage now.
That was the one where they made it so that you didn't do the extra damage on the cancel.
Yeah, on the cancel charge. So
yeah,
mostly the issue was, at least to me, was the turnback. Because when they use the iframe cancel, it's not that bad because at least it costs stamina. But the turnback one was like kind of nutty that you could spam it and it costs no stamina.
What about they didn't put in the Dream of Doom one, did they?
No, they took the Dream of Doom nerf out in the changes and instead nerfed the other skills. And they nerfed Dark Flame and the last hit of Black Wave. I'm okay with
I think that's
Dream
fair.
of Doom. If Dream of Doom got a nerf, I'd say like slightly nerf the AoE size, but leave the damage.
Yeah, the AoE size is what I mostly have a problem with, not the actual damage it does. Like I can block most of the damage even at my DP. I'll take some HP hit for sure, but like I can understandably at 330 plus, I'm gonna fully block it basically, so that's understandable. That's like 280 plus Sorks. But yeah, the other skills are being adjusted is good. That's definitely good.
Yeah,
I just don't want to get pew-pewed to death.
Yeah. All right, Moose and Nerf. They upset about blooming? Is it still
No,
usable?
I mean, so all right, I'll give you a couple different opinions that I've seen. Kyriem, he actually rolled back to Awakening because he said it did affect his large scale potential. It was fairly noticeable in his opinion.
Okay.
I didn't really get too much detail other than that, but he said it's still fine. He says it just for his personal taste. He felt like it impacted him a lot. Shaky still likes Succession. He feels that the damage nerf to blooming was actually fine. After testing it, he doesn't really notice too much of a difference when it comes to like 1v1 combos and maybe even large scale, like small scale. Because Shaky's doing more like GVG stuff right now. We're not doing like large scale stuff right now, so we haven't had too much opportunity to check it out. But yeah, I mean, two different opinions for two different types of playstyle. I mean, so it really is a matter of perspective. If you want to do large scale, probably Awakening might be better again. I mean, it was always kind of like an argumented point for most mooses where they said Awakening was better outright. But then again, some still say even after post nerf that Succession's still better. So it really just depends on preference and style. The main thing I think that really affected the blooming for large scale is the drain not being applied on the extra hits that go outward. Because what would end up happening is you would drain an entire group of people, and it would be like a pseudo stun, because most of the time the HP pot auto activates first, and then you got to wait 2 to 3 seconds before you can get that WP pot to pop off. So they're just like sitting there like, retards, just waiting to like do an ability, but they can't because they have no WP or anything, and then they just get followed up, CC'd, and then killed. That's what generally happened in a 1vx scenario or GVG, yada yada. So with that being gone or not being as impactful because the extra hits don't drain anymore, that kind of limits their CC potential with blooming. Like they don't get like these easy free CCs off of people just being drained.
All right. Yeah, I haven't actually fought a Succession Moose since the nerf only awakened, so I don't know. It does seem like more. I don't know. I feel like there's an AP threshold with Succession where, like, if you're like above 281, like if you're 285, 289, 290, whatever, so on and so forth, you're probably running Awakening because you can kill people so easily and protected. And then if you're below it, you kind of like Succession to help you kill like high DP targets.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I mean, the same could still be said though for like Succession. Like, if you pull off a Blaze with 281 plus, you start shredding people with that.
Yeah.
But yes, you're absolutely right though, and typically the Awakening has far more protected damage to utilize. It's also, I feel, because of how the playstyle is, more susceptible of getting debuffed, into oblivion in large scale, because you're just sitting there in super armors and shit's flying all over the place. So
Ranger. Have you guys run into any Ranger?
I haven't seen a Ranger in probably a couple weeks.
Dude, they're all gone already.
I don't know what happened.
I still
they're
think
probably all just farming at Stars End, and then I haven't been to Stars End in a hot minute, so that's probably why I haven't seen them.
No, it's just ninjas and Sorks here, dude.
Oh, rip.
And one Kuno or two Kunos, Frosty and the guy who's griefing Frosty.
No, that guy's he's going back to Sausins. I sent him to Sausins.
It's going to be with his people.
Yeah. I still think just the blasting gust nerf might have been too much, whereas like everything else I was okay with, but I haven't gotten
I was not anticipating nerfs to Ranger at all. Like, I mean, there was some things that I thought were a little ridiculous, but I wasn't actually anticipating nerfs to Ranger. And then when they put that down, I was like, ooh, God, it almost seems like they have a vendetta.
Yeah. Some Rangers took it harder than others, but there's a lot of Rangers that are rolling back to Awakening, though. I like
Yeah.
Awakening Rangers. So
All I gotta say is that's fine with me. No freaking Succession Rangers on T9s running around just Gatling gunning people down. That is toxic.
yeah. In large scale, it's slowly just got to slowly whittle away all this range damage like they're doing. So they nerfed the Sorc range damage. They added a higher cooldowns to Malice on Ninja, which is kind of some range damage. They nerfed Ranger range damage. The Blooming had a little bit of range to it. Eventually, Reslar Warrior's going to be able to run into a large scale ball without dying before they even get to the ball.
Yeah.
Man. Got to remove Archer from the game and you're good to go.
It's
I
fine
don't
with
think that's
me.
necessary.
I don't mind a reduction in range damage overall. It's definitely a much needed change to the large scale scene.
Yeah.
Well, good news. Wizard and Witch Succession are getting buffed, so I hope you're ready for more of it.
Yeah. Dude, one of my favorite lines from Dildo Dragon last week is he was talking about how range is inherently like a protected thing against like melee. Like when you're a ranged class, like he doesn't understand why, if it's a ranged ability, why it has to have so much protection. And when range in and of itself is protection, because you have to like gap close and you have time, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, I thought it was kind of interesting because there's a lot of
because not
Rangers-
every class is melee. That's why.
No, but yeah, exactly. I mean, the point is not that like everything should be unprotected, but there's a lot of archers and rangers that think that they should have like the same super armor rotation as like a mystic and a striker.
Oh no, absolutely not.
You know, and it's just like, it's just not. I don't know. Kiting is a form of protection.
Yeah, I mean, there's some rangers and archers that are really good at kiting, and it's really hard to land CCs on them. Like, even from my point of view as a Mewa, that I can throw out a range CC myself, it can still be pretty difficult to land those. As well as trying to weave it in between their CCs. Like, that's dangerous. Shit is not easy. You make a wrong miscalculation on in between their abilities, and you're just going to get knocked on your ass and then comboed to death.
I feel like since Archer has S block, I feel like there's no reason why Succession Ranger can't have it. Honestly, because not like their movement's worse than Archer too. So why not just? I don't know.
I agree with that. I didn't understand why they kind of made Succession Rangers so unprotected, but then you see all the damage that they had. But since they nerfed a lot of their damage, I think an S block would be definitely warranted. It would help them out with some of their ability problems, like not like a pseudo mobility, you know, like because they could just back up. Not really true mobility.
Wait, Succession Ranger?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Doesn't Succession Ranger have like that giant fucking hop that they do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that has a cooldown.
It's a super armor with no CC. It's like a shitty meteor dive.
Right, but it's like huge. It goes forever.
I don't. No,
No.
it does not go forever. It's like meteor dive. It's like
Yeah,
a lot like
It
meteor
goes
dive.
way further than meteor dive. Don't bullshit
It
me.
goes
Yeah,
in Succession. It goes a little bit further than meteor dive, but that's their only protected movement ability. And then EES is a 14-second cooldown or 13-second. Like that's literally it. That's like saying like
does EES in Succession still have the same bug as Awakening?
no. You have to use either the pre-awaken one to get it, or if you use Succession one, it moves you a little bit further than normal EES, but it doesn't have the bug, so you can only use it once every 13 seconds.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just feel like they should
arguably
have
you're better off taking the regular EES, right? Because at least the EES from the original is it still has that bug, right? Where every other one is protected.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a hard choice for them because the Succession one flows really well after Call from Sky, so you can like it moves you like the distance is further even though it's unprotected. So it's kind of like for gaining space. I don't know. I just think they should have an S block. I wouldn't be opposed to them having an S block.
I agree.
I wouldn't either.
After their nerfs, I think they kind of need something, either mobility, which I'm sure most of them would probably prefer mobility, or at least an S block at the minimum would be helpful.
Honestly, don't quite understand why any class would not have at least an S block at this point.
Well,
Ninja, I get why. Ninja Succession, honestly.
I mean,
But Ninja
So-
has a regular block, don't they?
No, not in Succession. They have no block.
Oh, not in Succession.
Yeah.
my only major problem with S blocks is like what we were talking about earlier when we were showing that KR tournament, and like how their play styles are like super passive, like a passive aggressive, like just like back up, read their opponent, and then just go in when they have cooldowns, and then back up, constantly S block or just dash away. Like that kind of stuff
Right.
is the reason why I have problems with things like S block. But at the same
But
time,
someone
like,
should be able to play passive if they want to.
Yes, which is why I'm like, that's the only reason why I have a problem with it. I am, however, saying that I think Rangers should get one because of the way the class is, or at least some mobility. But,
I play really passively on my Zerker. You think I could play like that if I didn't have an S block? Like, there'd be no way.
Didn't Zerker not have an S block for a long time?
Yeah,
I
they
think
didn't.
so. Yeah.
See,
It was only when they implemented S blocks across the board to all classes that didn't have it yet that I think
Right.
they got it.
But like my strategy for Zerker, because I didn't really start like trying to get good at PvP on Zerker anyway until I don't know, like well after the CC changes. In all honesty,
Right
Like,
before
before
you
that-
rolled Archer.
before that I had played Zerker, but I never cared about being good. I just enjoyed the class and was having fun with it. So it was like being able to choose between like, well, I can either play aggressively like I see all these other Zerkers do, where they're like giant leaping straight into people and fucking predatory hunt to try and like nab a CC here and there. Like, or I can like kind of do my own thing that I feel more comfortable with, which is how I played a lot in when I played Warrior, which is why I felt more comfortable playing it that way.
Yeah.
And then as I like played more and more, and I was able to like kind of like toe the line between like when to turn on the aggression and then when to be like really passive, basically.
Yeah, I mean that's ultimately you got to read your opponent and then kind of figure out when it's best opportune time for you to jump in.
Right. So like against people who are like really scared of Zerker, or I won't say scared like they're literally scared, but like they're
They're
very
afraid to
cautious.
encroach.
Yeah, like they're terrified of approaching and stuff like that. It's really easy to just like giant leap over to them real quick because they're always like, "Oh, he's gonna lava piercer," and then you just giant leap over to them and grab them. It's really funny. And then they start crying about how click to move is an exploit and yada yada yada, all that stuff.
Trying to think of all that. So like obviously Musa and Mewa have like a Q block, right? So you guys don't. Do you have an S block
Yes.
in Succession? I don't think so. Right?
No. In both kits, we do not have an S block in Succession.
Musa Awakening has an S block,
Yeah,
right?
Awakening does. Dude, they're
Kind of. I mean, they do, but I think they have stamina cost attached to it.
no, not anymore. They used to. Yeah, it used to have a stamina cost.
Mewa has just a normal S block.
Maybe it doesn't recover stamina still. I don't know. But
I don't
it
know.
used to actually cost stamina to walk backwards, which was insane.
I never really cared too much to pay attention to him.
Wait, no, Mewa
wanted to know how to
Awakening
kill
just
him.
has a regular block, right?
Yeah.
I thought?
And
Mewa
S-block
Awakening
too, don't
has
they?
an active and an S block. So
Okay.
Yeah, so I could just do whatever I wanted essentially.
So
And then Ranger Awakening has an S block, right?
yeah, their Awakening when their swords are out has it.
Yeah,
So Tamer
but
Succession
but
does not.
Ranger Awakening didn't have an active block. They had only an
Right,
S block.
right.
Right. So Tamer Succession does not have an S block. Ninja Succession does not, and Succ Succession does not. And those three, I could argue, like those ones, I feel like don't really need it. Maybe Tamer, but Tamer, like they need to get rid of that roaring bullshit before they change Tamer at all or do any buffs. The roaring thing is so bullshit.
The slow.
I mean, no, not
Massive
the
slow.
slow. They have a second trap in Succession that has no cooldown on the stiffness. So
Oh,
they get to
God.
just keep spamming it over and over again. It's obnoxious.
Yikes.
I mean, it's not even like a playstyle they like. Like I was talking to a lot of tamers, they all would be happy to lose that to gain like useful and like skillful abilities.
Yeah. Sounds like
I
Mama.
don't know. Kuno has an S block in succession. Like their kunai, that's their. They don't have malice. Dude. They trade the 2 malices for an S block. I don't know if that's fair trade, but it's a trade. The S block actually is really nice on Kuno. So we can wait for a long cooldown too.
S block changes a lot. I remember when they added S block to Wizard. I was playing Wizard at the time, and it was like a real game changer, honestly.
Yeah, I forgot Wizard didn't have it. How helpless was
Yeah.
Wizard without it? I mean, I guess you had like when
Yeah,
Bolide
you
had
kind of like
CC,
hid. You
Oh.
basically just hid behind like terrain or like your teammates, and was like, "All right, I'm just waiting for the call to TP in. Just gotta hide real quick."
Yeah, that's just kind of weird not having it.
Or like another popular thing to do, at least with some of the wizards that I was talking to about it, was like instead of like casting your meteor, you could just hold on to it, let your stamina drain to use the block. If you knew you were going to be like going in soon, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You like walk up, precast the meteor, get the frontal guard, and then like within like 2 or 3 seconds, you knew your shot caller was going to call to dive. You can blow that meteor and then TP in.
It's funny too because I remember when Wizard got S block, a bunch of witches were like, "What the fuck? Like, then give us grab."
Yeah, right.
I actually still wouldn't. I would not be opposed to witch having a grab if it
I
meant
would.
if it meant
Fuck no.
if it meant
No
they
more
are.
grabs in this game. They keep adding more.
I wouldn't be opposed to it if it meant they're gonna shut up about grabs. I'm all for it, dude.
Okay,
That is
give
not a-
witch
that is not a
grab and then
reason.
give wizard voltaic. Thanks.
That is not a reason at all.
Nah, it's worth, dude. To not hear them whine anymore.
Dude, they bitch and whine all the time and they get shit every time. I'm tired of the arguably best large scale class whining and getting what they want.
Oh, it's not arguably. Nobody's arguing. I still remember whenever they did that change to voltaic originally, where now it like casts at the speed of sound.
Mm-hmm. I
And
know what
I
you're
was
gonna
like,
say. This is my
we were
favorite
like,
too.
dude, it's so funny to me. It's so emblematic of Witch as a whole. We're in Discord like, holy shit, like this is a huge change to Witch. Like, what a massive buff. And then witches in the fucking Discord go, well, actually, it's a bit of a nerf because it lowers the amount of super armor we have.
Yeah, it shortens our super armor duration, so it's actually a nerf.
Yeah, it's actually a nerf because it shortens the amount of time we're in super armor. It was like, what the fuck? Like, you actually have to be like pulling some serious mental gymnastics to think like fucking witches do, bro. It's insane.
Yeah, good times, dude. Fucking witch, man.
I think it wasn't long after that I left the Hex Discord.
That was the straw that broke the camel's back, huh?
No, that wasn't the one, I don't think. That was getting up there.
Yeah.
I think that was when I started being like, why the fuck am I in this Discord? Like, I don't even like half the people in here.
you know I like to argue with people about balance and the way things work and whatever. Like, but I have my limits, dude. When people start saying that speeding up Voltaic's animation, giving it an evasion debuff is actually a nerf, those are people
dude.
I can't talk to you, man. Like, I'm sorry.
There's nothing I say that'll improve this conversation.
Yeah, this conversation is not one I can take. I'm out. Speaking of wizard and witch, all right. So succession buffs. Can I read these just to be comical? Because I love the way Google translates them.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, hold on. Let me.
It's like, have you ever seen that video where it's the guy reading Sims patch notes?
No.
Oh, I'll link it to you when we're done recording. It's fucking hilarious.
All right. Oh, I'm hyped for this, right? I'm just gonna read a few of these because they're fun. Steel meteor falls, wide area 15%.
Right,
I
of
like
course,
that.
obviously.
Steel residual lightning, high pressure 20%.
Okay.
Strong, the damage of Thunderbolt has been increased.
Right,
This
Thunderbolt,
one's good.
of course.
This one's good. The following skills have been cast faster. And I like the first one. This is my favorite skill that any class has ever had. River, current wave, river balance, collapse, river ruins of fire, river hydrothermal.
Jesus Christ.
Hell
Wait,
yeah.
Like Google translations are
that's
great.
one skill?
No, I think it's all of like the water skills or ice skills or something. I don't know. No, it's not all the ice ones because snowstorm. Dude, by the way, I was watching a wizard grind in Histria. This is before the changes, but that new blizzard that like lingers where you can cast it and then start casting other shit's actually so cool. Because they'll cast blizzard and then just continue on with their skill rotation, and the blizzard's like falling on the pack the whole time, doing damage.
Hey, wait, you said Witch and Wizard Succession came out already in NA, right?
No, in Korea.
Oh, in KR, not in NA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
Because I was worried I missed the Succession event for Witch and Wizard. I was like, ah, shit, I never logged into my Witcher Wizard to get my free rewards.
Dude, if it was out in NA, you would have already tried it. You know you wouldn't be able to resist.
Unlikely.
You don't think you'd try
I
it?
do not care. No, I do not care.
You're just over Wiz Witch now?
Not particularly, but I like the Awakening.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a staff person. It's why I never played Witch Wizard to begin with. I only got interested in Witch and Wizard whenever I saw the Awakenings because I was like, oh, actually, that looks pretty cool. It's pretty dope.
All right, so the gist of these notes, they increase the damage on basically everything. They increase the casting speed animation on basically everything, and then a bunch of other changes that it's really hard to tell what they are because of translation. Like some of these are not related to cast speed or damage. Like this is tradition when using left click, right click after using it. Power of Winds technology, ground response flow technology will be activated first. So it's a lot of like little quality of life things too, and just the way things flow together.
Right.
But really, like when people saw the Succession, I feel like the consensus was just that the damage seemed low, but that the kit seemed like it had potential. So the fact that they buffed the damage and the cast speed and did a bunch of the quality of life stuff, I think it'll be actually pretty good.
Yeah, and I know everybody's gonna be talking about the damage buff, but that cast speed buff is insane.
Yeah.
Like, they made it so much faster to go through like a full rotation of your abilities.
Yeah, I put in the Discord in the discussion section yesterday a video if people want to check that out that shows like the Global Labs version versus the live KR version. It's pretty different. I still am a little bit concerned that the Wizard one is the Wizard Succ is significantly better than the Witch because of the passive. Like they rotate through skills so much faster. I don't know.
Wait, Wizard actually being better than Witch for once? Well,
Maybe
we can't have that.
Maybe. I mean, it's just so much. I mean, the thing is because they're using the same skills, right? They both have access to the same skills. The only thing different is their passive. So it's like,
yeah, it's their mechanic.
The Wizard passive makes it casting everything faster, which means both their PvP and PvE is going to be better. I mean, the Witch one you can like cancel, move, and then resume. I guess that's her passive, but that's only good in PvP, you know, not PvE. I think maybe it's good in PvE. I guess start a skill, rotate to the back, and hit them in the back. But I just sounds more PvP. I bet Huntler's excited, dude. This is also going to add a lot more range. So everything we were excited about getting nerfed is
going to be thrown away.
It's going to be thrown away because now all these pre-awakened skills can do more damage. The lightning stuff is all range. The fire stuff has some range. Dude, the new earthquake animations look super good. I don't know. I might actually try this out. My wizard's not leveled up. He's only level 58. So I'm gonna need Rezlar to power level me.
XD.
Yeah. What? Oh,
The only class I'll power level you on is Zerker, and that's only if you're gonna play it.
No, yeah, you can play your Zerker while you're power leveling my wizard.
That's not what I said.
All right. Let's move on. Oh, by the way, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get Wizard and Witch this week.
Probably
this coming week, because the way they've done in the past, we get it like a couple weeks after. Once they actually started releasing Succession in NA, they just give it to us like 2 weeks after Korea. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna get Wizard and Witch this week, then Lawn the following week, and then Mystic and Striker the week after that. I alt-tabbed to look at a video for a second, and now there's a ninja in my spot. That's how this goes, dude.
What other successions do we have after that? Guardian?
Well, there's the nerfs to warrior and the adjustment to warrior succession and the.
I mean, successions that haven't come out yet, though.
Just
Striker, Mystic.
Just Guardian. Yeah, after
Just
Striker
Guardian,
Mystic
yeah.
was just Guardian. That's the last one.
Yep. So here's my question. Didn't they say, I'm only vaguely remembering this, and I might be remembering something incorrectly, or maybe out of context, but didn't they say that their goal was to come out with like a combat class and then a traditional combat class and then a non-traditional class, like Shy?
Yeah, well, they said, I think it was that they wanted to do like a new like experimental type class once every year.
Oh, okay. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I'm just gonna be grinding alongside this ninja now because he's just gonna kill mobs next to me. That's awesome, dude. Yeah. So
that's your kind. That's your people.
You're Rudum, dude. Next year, man.
I know it's supposed to be. Or people are thinking that it'll be the next class because there's already some game files that they found or something. I remember a while back. And I'm gonna fucking die. Never mind. I'm okay. Get thrown around like a fucking rag doll in here sometimes. But yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with that. I want more diversity in terms of like the races that we can play. Like I liked the Shy because it was different. I'm a little upset that like it is like so different that it's like a completely different class. Like it's not a normal combat class, you know?
Right.
Because I might have been interested in playing it if it was like your normal combat class, but I don't know what they could have done. Who knows? But so I'm interested to see what they do with the whole like scimitar Rudum thing that apparently is going to be a thing.
Yeah, maybe it'll just be really good at matchlock hunting and hunting with a sniper rifle.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm I don't want to jinx anything, but they have been coming out with a lot of what's the term I'm looking for? Like opposite gender classes, right? Like Archer to Ranger, now Guardian to Berserker.
I guess.
So I mean, one thing people have been asking for years now.
Classes. They're not sister classes.
Right, opposite gender. That's why I didn't want to say sister class. I wanted to say opposite gender. You know what people have been asking for years at this point now, basically since the beginning of the game?
What?
Male Sorc.
True. They could do a necromancer, dude. That's what I'm
It
saying.
would not surprise me if they did a male Sorc at some point this year or next, honestly. I think Frosty's PvPing that ninja.
Yeah. Oh, wait. It's the Kuno from earlier, and he came back on a ninja.
Oh.
Dude.
He realized he couldn't match you toe to toe with Kuno, so he got to go for the more OP.
Let's say what guild he's in.
Dude, that's like, there's nothing funnier than I'll go to Polly's Forest on an alt to grind, just because lately I've been trying to get my like passive income up, just like the free income that you get every day. I've been trying to get my combat fame up, and I'll go to like Polly's on an alt to try and level it up a little bit, and there'll be someone who fights me, and of course I'm on an alt with like fucking Pry and Duo green gear, you know, like I have all my boss gear, but as far as weapons go, I don't have anything. So like I don't know what I'm doing, so they kill me pretty easily. And then I tag in my archer, and I can literally just walk up, wing strike them to death. They die in like 3 hits. It's like, get out of here, kid.
Yeah. Maybe the Rudum guy could have 2 shields, 1 in each hand.
Dude, I had fun fact, in my first D&D campaign, I wanted to play a guy who had 2 shields, and the DM would not let me.
Yeah.
Or I won't say he wouldn't let me. He was like, he convinced me out of it over the course of like a week. He was like, dude, I don't think you understand what this means for you in the game. I'm like, I don't care. I want 2 shields. It's going to be funny. It's going to be cool. I'm going to be like the ultimate defender guy. He's like, you're not going to be able to do like anything. It was bad. All right, so I think that's it for the succession buffs and nerfs for now. So let's talk about the warrior buffs, and it's not succession, it's awakening. Kind of interesting. Finally, they're realizing that awakening is dog.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I can't really say it's dog, because in 1v1s it's fine. It's fairly strong, but
it can 1vx pretty well compared to some kits out there.
In large scale, it's very lackluster, like most melee classes that aren't Musa, Meiwa, and Ninja and Kuno and those flexes. And
it isn't even that amazing in large scale. You have to play a very specific way.
I'm well aware, but you're better off than Striker, Mystic, Warrior, all those. And then in PvE, I think Warrior PvE is pretty okay, right? It's like,
yes, very good. Warriors PvE is very good. Its 1v1's pretty good. And
Awakening though?
Yeah. And in large scale, it's actually like, all right, so maybe like Awakening is not good at plays like Gahas and stuff, but at high-end spots actually good.
Really? Why is that? Is that because of the new thing? The new skill that they added a while back?
I think that helped, but remember when they lowered the cooldowns on some skills and then slightly buffed a couple skills like way back in the day? I think that shit kind of made it like better at high-end spots than it used to be.
Vaguely, I don't know. But anyway, they're buffing warriors some. So what is it? They're buffing like Gravedigger, Slashing the Dead, the new skill that I can never remember the name of. It's just like damage buffs, I'm pretty sure,
Merciless?
right?
Is that the new skill?
No. Merciless. Yeah, Merciless can be used off cooldown, which is kind of huge for PvE, honestly.
They increased the damage and added 2 extra hits. Oh no, wait, maybe they didn't increase the damage too. Of a armor break.
Armor break, yeah. That's the
It's the paddle slap, right?
Yeah, the paddle slap. That's their spacebar. Well, technically, Warrior has 2 space-bars. That's one of them.
Oh yeah, you have to have a special keyboard.
No, it just depends on what skill comes before it. So, like, if you do Solar Flare into spacebar, then it'll do the flip. But if you do, I think, almost anything else in the spacebar, it'll do the paddle slap. I don't remember the actual names of the
paddle
abilities.
slap.
That's what it is. It's the paddle slap. I don't remember the name of the Overwhelm. That's what it was called. See, look, I can still do it. I still got it. Yeah, that's called Overwhelm. So, but anyway, yeah. So Awakening Warrior got some really big buffs. So that is pretty dope. Hopefully, it helps them in the areas that they need it without being like too much in the areas where they didn't. Like, I don't think Warrior really needs any help, honestly, in 1v1s. Like, Warriors, I think Warrior's actually very balanced in 1v1s personally. I know Nayashe probably doesn't believe it, but
Well, it's the only reason why is because my class likes iframes to help deal with some of the bullshit. It's like my class, they removed all the things that helped us avoid a lot of the problems that we're dealing with now.
Yeah.
And it just makes it really, really difficult.
yeah. But yeah, we'll maybe have to get a warrior in here, another warrior. Our last warrior we had was it Vanguards? Yeah, it was Vanguards, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
I think you guys had Vanguards.
Yeah, I don't think we had a warrior on since then, so maybe we'll bring on another warrior to talk about those buffs at some point. We already have our next guest planned, but you fucking dumb if you think I'm gonna let you know what it is here. So you better join the Discord so you know who it is, and then you can ask that person questions if you want to be able to do that. So make sure you join the Discord. Anyway, yeah, big Awakening Warrior buffs. Moving on. Mystic and Striker Succession has come out on Global Labs, right? Is it out on KR?
No, Global Labs only right now. Came out this week.
Global Labs only. So let's tackle this first. What's Mystic Succession like? Tell us, Frosty, as the resident Mystic player.
So in the words of Dildo Dragon, we're gonna be really good at chopping wood.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, dude. No, I think like now part of it is I don't know if I fully understand the succession yet because the passives and succession always has like these nuanced things that are hard to tell just from translations and seeing them rotate through skills.
Right.
But skills that were, and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but skills that were already good in pre-awakening were made worse in succession because they either removed the CC or the protection from them, which I don't think they've done that for any other succession class that I know of. Like,
Well, didn't they do that to Kuno?
remove protection or CCs? No. Like,
oh, I thought they did.
No. Like, so they increased cooldowns on Kuno, which was annoying.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
But like, so for example, we'll use like Smokescreen for example, right? Like, or Dragon Bite. It'd be like if Succession Dragon Bite for whatever reason didn't have Frontal Guard. Like that's what happened to all of Mystic's skills. So Rage Hammer no longer has a CC, which is insane to me. Thunder Pound doesn't have a CC. Twisted Collision compared to like Striker always hasn't had the Frontal Guard for whatever reason, though Striker does. And then like, I don't know, so it's weird. It's like in a weird place. And then Wave Orb and Sea Burial are their two skills. Wave Orb I think is okay. Sea Burial is actually like so low damage because it doesn't have the flow. And they didn't like add damage to compensate. Dude, this ninja will not stop trying to just grind over me, and his guild is undeckable. This is my favorite, dude.
Feels bad.
Yeah, but I did get a distortion earring right in front of him while we were killing the same pack. So that's good. But I don't know. Scissor Kick, which is the forward F in pre-awakening, lost its float. So now it's super arm with no float. So yeah, I don't really understand it at all.
But you said yourself that there could be some hidden mechanic that you can't see in translations. So like my thing that I was thinking might be the case. Obviously, I have no idea. I haven't even looked at the shit. But like, what if it's like Zerker? How if you use like the spin after like a certain ability, like I think it's Predatory Hunt or Lava Pierce or something, then it becomes like protected or some shit. Like, what if it's like that?
Yeah, I mean, then there might be a case, right? Like that's why I'm saying like I don't know if there's something like that. Then maybe there's a something about it that'll be good. But so far on paper, it just doesn't seem that good because of its. I mean, it loses all the cool stuff that Awakening has. Oh, wait, the ninja's flagged. Let's go. I lose all the cool stuff that Awakening has and doesn't really get anything in return. That I can see, but again, it's possible I just don't understand it.
Right. Alright, so and then fucking Striker Succession. What are the kind of like early thoughts on that without going too much in detail?
Looks good.
Yeah, so far it looks really good. I'm gonna actually read. Let me I hate to let this ninja grind in peace for a second to read this, but I have to. Fucking hate this guy. Croissants. Whoever the GM is of Croissants, you should be ashamed of your guild and your members, alright? Hold on. Oh wait, he flagged right as I was changing character. Oh.
You saw an opportunity of weakness.
Oh, rip. Rip, he got me. Alright. Now, unfortunately, because of the nature of me, I have to fight him.
You have to parry him 10 times after one kill.
Also, what do you guys think of the Succession outfits for Mystic and Striker?
I haven't seen him actually.
Okay, he's dead. I can read this now. Oh, I think the Striker one is okay. The Mystic one looks really fucking cool.
Yeah, I actually kind of like everyone was like memeing the Mystic outfit because like underboob or some shit, but I like it. I think it looks pretty good.
What's wrong with underboob, man?
I don't know. People all of a sudden are like really gay in BDO, which is like not a surprise, but a surprise the same. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay, so here this is a Striker I know that duels a lot, and he's like okay at large scale, but he's good at 1v1s. But this was his opinion at first. I'm gonna read the whole thing. So the night it came out, after a while, he said, right now I think it's Garbo. They took all the Striker skills, don't use, and lock, and made something weak, all frontal, less protection. And then the next morning, he PM'd me and said, I changed my opinion. It might actually be sick for 1v1, less AoE, so worse for large scale, and leg drop is nerfed because it doesn't have its flow. Modifiers are pretty high too. He said, with its 15% evasion buff, it'll force DP players to switch to evasion. And then he said, Mystic is dog shit. and then... And then Purple Turtle, his opinion was, I think it'll be decent 1v1, but its mobility is so bad. Node War Siege is going to be hard for them to engage and disengage. Not having triple dash is a slap in the face. I don't deny that some strikers will find a way to be good on it, but I had a realization about 2 months ago that they were going to hurt our movement with Succession, so I full re-rolled to Ninja.
Oh, God.
He's a ninja now?
He's a ninja, dude.
My God.
Yeah, so he
Player
said...
of the month.
He said, it seems like suicide for every ball fight. From my viewpoint, the age of rotating super armors is slowly coming to an end, and with so many people having AP in Succession doing loads of damage, yes, they nerf Succession damage, but my point still stands. Take this with a grain of salt, because it's just my opinion. We'll see what some of the strikers do to overcome these shortcomings. So far it seems like people think it'd be really good in 1v1 and PvE, and then not good in large scale, necessarily.
That's fair.
How is that different from Awakening Striker?
Well, Awakening Striker, remembers, I mean, people don't think it's okay at grinding, but it's like compared to every other class, pretty bad. So in that sense, it's worse.
Good at grinding. It's good at grinding low and then medium end spots, right? Isn't that what people say? But
Right.
at high end, it's pretty garbage.
But I think the idea is that it'll be, I don't know. I mean,
it'll probably be their PvE kit. See, the PvE kits are supposed to be good at 1v1, right?
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I have a feeling it'll be good in 1v1. I mean, Striker is pretty good at 1v1, but I think that this will be even better at 1v1 personally, because some of the new stuff is actually really cool, and some of the chain abilities that you can use are cool. The way like Wolf's Fang can be instant cast after a punch ability, and then the way their new Wolf's Hunger works is kind of interesting. It like teleports you forward in a certain range instead of tracking and porting and stunning, which is
Yeah, I
kinda
saw that
interesting.
as well in a video I was watching of a striker fighting where he just used it to like fucking almost like fuck, what's that goddamn ability ninjas and kunos have? Fucking
Concealment.
no, the one where you dash forward.
Ghost up.
Shadow something, isn't it?
Shadow
Shadow
Stomp?
Shadow Stomp?
Shadows. Yeah, it's kind of like that where you just like boop, just go forward. It was like, oh shit, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know if it has a CC on it or if it's protected. I don't know. I don't know. Currently, it's like protected while invincible, and then CC on the hit, but not protected. Or sorry, protected while invisible. But yeah, the new one works differently, so I'm not too sure if it's a CC.
Yeah, but
or not.
also text likes to lie, so who knows? Can never
Yeah,
trust that shit.
tooltips are pretty garbo to follow.
The fucking giant leap tooltip says iframe while you're in the air, and everyone knows that's horse shit. It's iframe for like half a fucking second at the apex of your fucking flight path.
All right, let's stay on topic. All right, let's not get
Let's not get
Zerker.
toxic.
This is what happens, dude. Every podcast, you have stupid Frosty over here talking about Shadow Explosion should have SA, which I think is totally fair and reasonable. Yeah. You have Nayashe saying Chase costs too much stamina, which is absolutely preposterous, and Rezlar thinks that Zerker's not an iframe class when they have Shake Off and Giant Sleep.
Hey, I don't necessarily think Chase costs too much stamina. I just want my attacks reduced so it actually makes it fair. They don't want us running away, fine. But at least let me fucking have some decent amount of combat time.
I think they should remove Chase and replace it with Mystic's the PA thing that they have, the solo PA.
They're just, instead of Chase, you just have a bubble.
Dude, have you
Dude,
seen the mobile Black Desert mobile Succession Mewa and Awaken Mewa?
No.
The movement is so badass looking. I'm super jealous. Holy shit, a Guardian literally walked up to a group of us in RBF, charged up, and literally killed us all in one hit.
Yep. They have
Jesus.
one charge. They have one charge ability. It's the one that I told you I could kill 2 packs at once. You
Yeah,
fully
that's-
charge that thing. It charges to like 4 blips, I think, 4 times. If you fully charge that thing does some fucking damage.
That's like
bro.
Grim Reaper on crack. Holy shit.
Yeah, but you actually do have to charge it, and it's frontal guard. So if you see
Well,
him,
yeah, for the damage it did, you better fucking charge it.
You know what they
Yeah.
should do? They should have a Global Lab patch just for Nayashe, where 1 week, because they're like, hey, we heard your complaints about Chase stamina, because you did say Chase stamina shouldn't cost as much. I've seen you say it. So they should have like, hey, they just show the quote of you saying Chase stamina should cost less, and they're like, all right, so we made it cost less, and we added the word head in front of Chase. Now you have Warrior's Head Chase for a week, and you
There
got
you
to
go.
test it out.
Yeah.
You got to test it out for a week. I'd be like, see, what you had was pretty good, wasn't it? All right.
That's pretty fucking great.
iframe once every 3 seconds. Have fun.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, but at least they have a fucking block that has a super armor in the back. I don't have that shit.
Dude, you just want everything, don't you?
No, I just want to be able to move without fucking feeling like
Dude, you already have a ranged grapple. What else do you need?
It's true.
This is getting toxic.
Range grapple, protected CCs, fast class, unlimited stamina and movement. I don't know what else you need, dude.
You
All
want
the
DO?
viewers-
Do you want
All the
DOD
viewers are gonna
next?
be like, "What? Mewa has a range grab?"
And Musa, dude.
I remember when Musa first came out on NA, and I was leveling it up, and then I got to Arrow Grapple, and I was like, "Holy shit, dude! This is a game changer."
Dude, they
Oh,
do you remember Mournblade, Rez?
yeah.
I used to always tell him when he'd be like complaining about Moose, I'd be like, dude, you literally have a ranged grab. Just use it. And he'd be like, dude, you better shut the fuck up with that shit. He would like actually get so mad, dude.
Oh man.
Yeah,
What would they have to change on Arrow Grapple to make it actually useful, Nayashe?
I'm actually going to be releasing a PvP guide with some tips and tricks and stuff too. I think Arrow Grapple was completely and utterly underestimated. Like, it's obviously it doesn't grapple for those viewers
Well,
that aren't aware of it.
The way it works is right after you use the ability, you can it flows, right? It's basically a flow.
Essentially. So this is here. I'll show you guys a clip of what I feel it should be used as.
You're gonna have to describe it for our listeners at home.
Yeah, so I'll describe it while you guys watch it. So essentially, think of grapple arrow as like, Mewa, whenever we're doing our stiffs and whatnot, and we're kind of back chasing automatically because we want to stay protected, right? Well, sometimes you actually do land those stiffs that you didn't expect to land, and then you're like, shit, how do I follow up? I have too much distance. Chase canceling up to your target. Sometimes you don't have enough time because you've already had extended amount of period of time where you back chased, and then you realize that you actually landed the stiff. Well, as a means of helping out with actually following up on something like that, you would then just use stub arrow or charge stub arrow cancel to land another stiff on the opponent, and then use that stiff to grapple arrow to pull you towards the target and then combo them.
Right.
So it's a gap closer for
What about this? What if they made this change? What if they made it so kind of like you know how Shadow Stomp works, where it puts shadow clones on your buff bar, and while shadow clones is there, you can use it. What if they after you use stub arrow, you had a 5-second span where you can press the hotkey for grappling arrow and use it, so it doesn't have to be used immediately after. You kind of have a little
I
bit of a
actually
window.
said that a long time ago. I thought that would be a cool option to have.
Mm-hmm. You think it'd be too strong?
Hard to say. I think it would be really, really good for mobility. See, the things that you can do with grappler that people probably don't really know about because they don't care to try it is you can actually turn your camera and go the opposite direction. So you can use it as a disengage. It's just not really ideal because you got to do it very quickly.
Right.
But you could go to the sides relatively easily and just do a little dash to the side with it. The main reason why I find it pretty useful and very underrated is because its stamina cost is only 150, and if you consider if I have to chase cancel up to somebody, I'm usually expending roughly between 500 and 700 stamina. So the 150 stam for a gap close of a considerable distance is pretty nice, especially when we're already stamina starved in our respective kits, whether it be Succession, which is worse stamina wise than Awakening, but Awakening as well, we tend to have some stamina issues. So I mean, having the 5-second buff to where you can activate it at any point in time would be pretty nice, actually. I think that would be pretty helpful for our ability to maneuver. It is unsafe, so probably most people probably wouldn't utilize it that much. I think it would be like a a top 1%er type mobility skill, where they would use it at key crucial moments before they would potentially be CC'd from using it.
Yeah. By the way,
I think my... Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. This is off topic. You go ahead.
Oh, mine was also off topic.
Oh, I was gonna say yesterday. I just thought about this right now because I thought it was funny that I got a distortion earring while this ninja was griefing me. But yesterday Akuna was griefing me, and I got a pride distortion earring while I was fighting him. Straight drop.
Wow.
Nice.
I know, dude. All right, what was your off topic thing?
I was gonna say my favorite thing about this clip is that it was clipped by Dilbo Dragon.
Dilbo?
Dilbo Dragon.
Jesus Christ.
God.
I don't know who the fuck Dilbo Dragon is. Is that the best striker in A?
No, that's Dildo. That's actually Dildo Dragon. He was in the stream when he clipped it for me.
He just was Dildo Dragon taken on Twitch. Couldn't get it.
Possibly, yeah.
He needs to trademark it.
No, that's actually how he spells his name on Twitch. I don't know if that was intended or it's like someone took his name or
maybe because it rhymes with Bilbo.
I forget why Dildo was in stream. I mean, he's probably just hanging out, just checking out stuff. But yeah, he clipped it for me while I was dueling the striker.
He was researching his opponent for the next fucking AOA tournament.
Yeah,
why? He just vacuums and then says goodbye.
Dude, I do have this dream because it's another thing. some changes need to be made just to shut people up. And like the vacuum thing is like the most complaint. Like Rezar and I have fought about the vacuum thing so much. So here, like one of my reluctance on changing it forever is just because I really do think Mystic's in just not a good state. But here's what it could be. It could be like just super armor damage. Just make the AoE wave like a lot bigger, like significantly bigger. Remove the vacuum and just have it be like super armor AoE damage for large scale. That gives you like fucking DR while you're using it or something.
I wouldn't have as much problem with it if it counted as a CC. Like, I know people argue, like, oh, well, some classes could, get out of it. Or at the very least, just give classes that actually don't really have a very good mechanic to get out of it an option to. Like,
again, the reason why it can't, I mean, I would rather it just be removed. The reason why it can't be counted as a CC is because the Mystic is also CC during it, and no other CC does that. So, like, if you're gonna count it as
follow up, they grab you with a knockdown grab, and then they do another knockdown to follow up. So you feel like you're literally being CC'd for like 12 fucking seconds.
But what grapple CCs you for 2.2 seconds?
Rock smash.
Alright, and how many grapples do you have? That's on a failed grapple, right? Or
Warrior's grab is only
that's not on success.
But like they're actually CC'd and you can follow up like combo it. Like again, just remove vacuum. I don't even want to get into this argument. It counting towards CC would be so dumb. It would just blow the CC limits for all of your teammates. It would make it like even shittier in large scale. It would just be silly. Yeah, remove it, just make it an AoE damage ability, and remove the stun from Wolf's Frenzy and give it iframe back. And it'd be pretty good. Oh, and give Prey Hunt the CC back, but make the cooldown way longer. Instead of 6 seconds, make it like 12 or 13. Or fuck, like make it 15 seconds.
I don't know. It's just like before it wasn't a problem because before the super armor changes, the CC changes, I had 2 iframes I could utilize and it wasn't an issue. I had no problems with it.
I know, but it still was for a lot of classes.
And also, to be fair, the state of the servers is honestly the real problem. Because my chase iframe doesn't work properly. I get caught in it anyways. And on top of that, I can't use charged evasive shot as an iframe either because I get caught during that. So honestly, if they fix the state of the servers, I think I'd finally be able to actually utilize my iframes that I actually barely have and manage to get out of it. But I can't do it anymore. I used to do that on the regular. That was my main thing on actually getting out of a Mystic Succ grab.
Right,
and
there's still a lot of classes that don't have an iframe that can't do that though still. So
yes, very true. I'm just saying, like, from my point of view, I do have iframes that can deal with it. It's just they don't work because I'm East Coast and servers say fuck you to East Coast players. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of like I don't know what to do about vacuum. In a perfect world, vacuum would be fine, but it's not.
Just remove it and give it make it an AoE damage dealing ability.
I think Mystic needs buffs right now anyway, so it's like it'd be fine to take it away and then compensate it in other ways.
Or make it an AoE damage, but allow them to cancel it so that it doesn't make them sit there. You know, so that would be fair because then their main problem is they have lack of damage. And they have, they take too much damage, right? That's their problem. So maybe if the vacuum as an option acted as damage, but then you could also cancel out of it if the situation was looking pretty grim for your ass.
I still like the idea.
I think that'd be fine.
Of making Mystic a bruiser that's like less about CCs. Like maybe remove the CC from Spiral. Remove the CC from Rapid Stream, give it Frontal Guard again, and then give Spiral Super Armor. And then just make it so like when a Mystic is like upright, they have like 30 DP, and when they get CC'd, they lose it. So they could like dive into a ball and just be like a brawler that's bouncing around dealing damage over time in Node War and Siege, and not just CCing and dying instantly.
Yeah, I mean,
kind of cool.
Yeah, Like make the vacuum kind of act like how Witch Wizards or was it Wizard? Which one does the water spiral thing in front of them?
Wizard.
Yeah,
Talking
so
about Aqua
maybe
Gel?
make it Aqua Gel. Maybe make it like that and then apply like a shitload of movement speed debuffs and stuff like that, but also damage, and then allow them to cancel it if they need to. That would make it more viable for large scale. It wouldn't be a fucking toxic fucking vacuum. It would be actually a useful ability to have because it would slow down a number of opponents and potentially deal damage if you have the appropriate amount of gear.
I started thinking about this the other day, sort of off topic, but tangentially related. What if, so we've always talked about PA and what you can do with PA. What if they actually added like a class that had the ability to like cleanse, basically? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that would be pretty good. Like a War Priest or something like that.
Remove Shy Bubble and add that to Shy, honestly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank
Like
God.
how cool would that be? Like not all buffs, obviously. Like it wouldn't remove your Villa or your food buffs, but like
Right,
if you
maybe.
had
just like
if you had speed spell, if you had PA, if you had like E buff, maybe
like a counter PA skill.
I see.
That would
You're saying
actually be
remove
pretty
it
good.
from the enemy.
yes, remove it from the
Remove
enemy.
skill
Yeah.
buffs. Yeah, okay.
Remove blessings
Because
from.
I wouldn't mind kind of both versions. Like have a dispel that removes slows and evasion and DP debuffs from allies, and then also one that removes positive buffs from enemies. That would actually be cool.
Yeah.
That would be
Because
really
I was
cool.
thinking about like what you can do. Because like the real issue is nobody has an answer PA because our entire node war system is centered around PA. So I was thinking, well, maybe instead of removing or drastically changing PA, you just add stuff to like slightly like counter it if done properly. You know what I mean?
You know why they feel that they can't remove PA though, right? Because everyone would complain about all the damage.
Everyone's already complaining about it.
Everyone's already complaining.
I don't even think they need to remove
but
it.
it'd be so much worse.
I still think it'd be such a simple fix. God, we talked about this 1,000 times, but it just seems so obvious. But I feel like a simple fix would be literally just make it like a whale elixir where it gives you like 100 DP for 10 seconds or 8 seconds or whatever. And then
Yeah, there's no reason why it has to make you fucking invincible.
Yeah.
Like,
well, everyone except for Vicious against ninjas.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking about that because, it's always a question that burns in my mind because I hate PA so fucking much. Also, Pearl Abyss, consider this. If you nerfed or took away protected area, think about how many people would buy reroll coupons, eh? And make some money.
I actually, I don't know. Though I feel like they would would they give them, let's say they remove PA, would they give them something? Let's just say they removed it altogether. Do you think you'd want to give Wizard or Witch anything in its place?
Oh yeah, they'd have to.
You'd have to give them some defensively.
Because here's the issue is if you take away PA from Witch or Wizard, how does Witch and Wizard now stack up in large scale against Archer, Zerker, Succession Ranger? Like,
all right, so what about this?
Like, it's still going to be good, but it's not going to be anywhere near where it arguably should be.
What if it worked the way their e-buff works? Like, what if it was like, for yourself, you have PA for 8 seconds, and your allies around you get, like, 75 DP for 8 seconds? Because like, e-buff doesn't give your allies the full buff. It gives them, like, a portion of it. I think it doesn't give them everything, right? That would be kind of interesting. Because I don't mind a Wizard diving in with PA for 8 seconds, like they have it and no one else does. But giving it to the whole team is like, shit's toxic, dude.
Yeah, personal PA is fine, but this is what it would end up happening. Then guilds would literally just stack up 60 witches like they did before in the past or do now, and then it would just be like a whole bunch of witch wizards.
But think about this though, is like Valkyrie has it, and do you hear people complaining about Valkyrie's version?
Yeah, because that's shit in comparison.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, it actually is the same thing except for the duration is 2 seconds less and the AoE is smaller.
Yeah, which means it's shit in comparison.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, but guilds aren't asking for them. Like, if it was like, I don't know. I don't think guilds would require 60 Wiz Witch if they could PA just themselves.
Or like,
honestly.
what if I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like they could also do it like you know how Shy has a lot of like long term buffs.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like 7
Yeah.
seconds.
25
Like they
DP
could
for a minute.
Yeah, they could change it to something like that, you know? So that way, like, you would still want a lot of Witch and Wizards. They'd still be crucial to have in your guild, but, like, it's not, like, cancer. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
also, if a group who does have a bunch of Wizards fights against a group who doesn't have a lot of Witch Wizards, the group with Witch and Wizards doesn't fucking automatically win engages. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's where my annoyance comes from because, like I've said multiple times before, Clash is like 70% Sorc, so we don't have a lot of witches and wizards, and we typically don't even ball fight. We usually just RBF because if we ball fight, we lose. But it's like on occasion, like especially if we're having to defend our base, then we're kind of forced into ball fighting, and we just lose every time, regardless of anything else, just because they have more witches and wizards than us. Like it's very annoying.
I apologize in advance. There is someone hammering something next door, so. By the way, Vel in 45 minutes.
Ooh, Vel.
Anyway, we got off topic.
Yeah, so overall, Striker Mystic, Mystic needs work. Striker maybe needs work. We'll see. Their PV, both their PV seems okay. Nothing like crazy to me, but I don't know. We'll see. I know Strikers are actually pretty excited to get it though, just because Succession's all fun, man. It's like fun playing a different style on your class without having to re-roll completely.
Yeah, no, definitely. I like my thing with Succession is just cool. It's new. You get to learn something new. I like to continue to learn things. And from my own point of view, like with Mela, it's like it gets really, really old just spamming Sticky Snowflake and Cloud Stab. So like the combo diversity makes it more enticing for me.
Yeah, and also we're getting to the point where it's like the community in each class is kind of torn on a lot of them. So now I'm running into Awaken Kunos and Succession Kunos, and more and more I'm seeing Awaken Ninjas again and Succession Ninja and Awaken Musa and Succession. So it's like I kind of love that dynamic because it individualizes the player a little bit more on their own personal style.
Yeah. And that's
also
always nice.
I don't think we had this information last podcast, so I don't think we talked about it. But maybe we did, and I'm just forgetting. Archer is confirmed to not be getting a Succession.
Yeah, that is 100% confirmed.
Has been confirmed. Archer is not getting a Succession, nor is Shy. Which I think everyone saw that one coming. The only question was whether Archer was going to get one or not.
Right. And Law and Succession actually looks really, really, really strong.
Yes, it does.
Which is funny because the first 3 hours of everyone's reaction, LOL, that shit, I lose my grab.
Yeah, and then they realize, oh, I have the ability to engage, disengage, and do whatever the fuck I want.
See,
it's weird.
Yeah, it looks good, man. Succession Lawn looks really fun.
I seen it. I'm like, wow, that's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And I won't even hate on the class because they don't have the stupid range grab anymore. It'll actually be a skillful class, in my opinion.
Right.
Except for that 31 hit attack that they have.
Oh, so wait.
Archer
is a skillful class because I don't have a range grab?
It definitely can be. Like the difference between a
archer, yeah,
a good archer and a bad archer is like, yeah, if you're just running away shooting arrows and you're getting kills, then yeah, you know, you're not going to get much credit. But if you're like actually good at the class, yeah, I think archer's skillful. I don't think your combos are skillful when you land a CC.
Oh no, these are some of the easiest combos I've ever done on a class.
Yeah, that's a rinse repeat.
I think the only classes I've played where I have had easier combos is Witch and Wizard, maybe Striker, because I have learned some Striker combos and they're like really basic.
Archer combo, dude.
Archer combo, dude. You mean full bloom?
Shifty. Yes. It's like, yeah, you think it's just Shifty, but it's actually Shifty twice.
No, it's actually Shift E and then down F, Shift R and B. You only have to do that last part like 20% of the time, though. On the rare occasion that they don't die from the Shift E.
Shift E is great. It's good. All right. Is there anything else? There's a lot of stuff in the pike coming down the pipeline.
Did you say in the pike?
Yeah. The pike's like a
like
an
pipe?
avenue. Yeah.
Pretty sure that's a league champion.
Dude, we should probably do a league segment every week.
Yeah?
Yeah, we were doing a paladin segment that one week, remember?
Yeah, and then everybody raged, and by everybody I mean like one person in the comments, and then apparently everybody DM'd you.
Yeah, you know.
Even though I put a poll in Discord, or I asked in Discord and said, does anybody actually give a shit of what's in the background of the video? And they were the only people who answered said no. And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, until they saw it was paladins, and they're like, all right, hold on.
Alright, comments, yes?
Yeah. You got them this week?
I can, if you want me to.
Yes, please. I gotta make these games.
I have a question for you, though. Are you going to be looking at them, or do I need to record them?
Yeah, I could pop them up. Hold on.
Okay. So I was, by the way, I was in Tim Allen's stream yesterday, I think it was, just kind of chatting with him while he was streaming, and I asked him who was going to be fighting him because I was going to go to that guild so I could be able to kill him. Mm-hmm. And he said something like, "We need to find Reslar a guild to be in so that he can channel the rage of the YouTube content creators." And I was like, I don't know if I even consider myself a content creator. I do like an hour of work a day. he said, well, honestly, that's more than the average BDO content creator on YouTube. I was
I'm not gonna deny.
Yeah. I was against him, dude.
Oh yeah, where'd you go?
I went to this guy Drug Candy. He was in I went in Camel yesterday, and
you ended up going to Camel?
Yeah, it wasn't very good. It was like just a stomp on Legatum, and then we scrimmed Aftershock for 1 second, and they couldn't deal with it, and then they walked off. But it was just
like Camel couldn't deal with it, or Aftershock?
Yeah, Aftershock, because Camel had mercs and Aftershock couldn't.
Yeah.
So, but this guy Drug Candy.
Someone in Flash Discord said that Camel is going to be the next KO Kai, just paying for mercs.
So Drug Candy said he asked if I was in game. Sherlock and Camel has a message for you. I was like, no, I was AFK. What is it? He said it was a message on the episode of the Value Pack about how it can be hard to find fights in a T1. Quote, we couldn't find fights on T1, so we went to Siege. End quote. Hey.
That's funny.
That's where it's at, man. All right, let me pull up the comments.
Right, let me finish this pack real quick, and then I shall start the comments.
I could actually read them.
You sure?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
I need a break from the grind.
You need a break from grinding that Kuno/Ninja who's grinding in your spot?
Yeah. No, it was kind of weird because remember I was like, I hate the idea of letting him grind while I go do this, but whatever, I have to. And when I came back, he was gone.
A bigger fish came by and annihilated him, and then just kept going on his way.
Okay. Dang, we have a lot of comments on this one. I'm probably not going to read the threaded ones that have a bunch of replies. I'm just going to read the base ones.
Okay, that's fair.
Sherlock
How
says,
many are there?
There's 50.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Sherlock says, so in your last video, you read my comment about how our guild would have a hard time finding fights on T1s. Well, this week, we took Balanos. Camel wins again. Oh, okay.
Camel wins again, dude.
Hell yeah, dude. Nice. Any thoughts on Wizard Succession buffs? I still hate the fact Succ Witchards can be played by holding down R and B, even if it isn't even if it is inefficient. On principle, it offends my sensibilities. All right, so the buffs look pretty good. Overall, I mean, I knew they were going to get buffs because my point of view was like every succession, even Zerker, though it was bad, the damage in PvE and stuff was still good. And that was kind of the big problem with Wizard Witch. The damage seemed bad. So I knew it wasn't going to come out that way, at least on our server. So yeah, I think the buffs are going to end up being pretty good. And I don't hate the RMB thing, honestly. Like, so the mechanic is, for those who don't know, is basically when you use an elemental ability like Fireball or Lightning, if you hold RMB, it'll cycle through all the abilities in that element in a flow.
What?
Instead
That's
of
it?
Wait.
Is that easy?
Say that
It's
again
that
for
easy.
me.
Let's say if you use Fireball, right? And you
Okay.
hold RMB, it'll cast and detonate Fireball Explosion, and then it'll use Meteor, and then it'll use Bolide.
Wow, could they made
Why?
Why?
They made it so
I don't
much
know,
easier?
because it's not even necessarily efficient, but I think for like noobs, it'll be easy, and maybe in some cases it'll be efficient. I don't know. Maybe to help remove any like input conflict too. I don't know. I'm not too sure.
That feels like a console thing.
It might be a console thing, but it also is like Wizard Witch is notorious for having so much shit on their hotbar, and I think this will actually help them remove some of it. Lightning is the same way. So if you hold lightning down, I don't know the exact order it does it, but if you cast lightning and hold R&B, it'll cast residual lightning, and then it'll cast whatever their new flow to lightning thing. It'll cast voltaic pulse if you have it, and so on. I don't know, whatever the other lightning skills are. So it's interesting. I don't know if like really good players will be using it, but for grinding, making grinding easy, I don't, doesn't bother me too much. Lord X says, great podcast. PA gave console an optimization patch. It's amazing. They removed 40% of all mobs from the game. Haha. If you want to see how stupid history looks, let me know. I can send you a link in Discord. What did
Yikes.
like which mod like what does that mean? I mean, I actually wouldn't be opposed to that in our game, to be honest. There's a lot of mobs in some of the areas that just are not
Well, I
mobs you
found
can
out some
grind.
info about that actually.
All right, give it to us.
Basically, they removed 40% of the mobs, but they increased the respawn rate by a significant margin. So it's almost like you're not really losing any trash per hour in console. But they did that probably in an attempt to optimize the game for a little bit better performance.
Yeah, because I feel like in our game, there's a lot of areas where there's mobs that are not even... like, there are packs in Histria that are in places that are not possible to be rotations, and if it's going to benefit the game's performance overall, I'd rather just remove them, or put critters there or something, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not too opposed to that idea, but it is kind of funny. Unless it makes the game feel empty, then I'm not into it. YHN says, when are you guys getting a guest shy main on the podcast? P.S. I'm the shy on the bongos waiting outside your door in RBF. That's for you, Roslar.
Yeah.
We're not getting a shy on the podcast ever for that exact reason, because you guys are on the bongos in RBF. You don't deserve to be anywhere, all right?
You're on the bongos too much for that PvP.
To be honest, I really don't know any shies, but it would be an interesting episode, I think, to hear from a shy's point of view what it's like riding a donkey around life skilling all day.
Yeah.
Mark Kronberg.
Maybe we're gonna have a shy on next week. You don't know. To find out, you're gonna have to join the Discord.
Yeah, I would definitely watch next week's episode. It's gonna be good. Mark Kronborg says, perfect timing on the video, guys. I'm the guy asking for mystic discussion last week. Guess it's a good pointer to keep more of an eye on the Discord for upcoming topics. The episode pretty much confirmed much of what I had already thought myself. I'm pretty much at the point with Mystic that I'm re-rolling if Succession doesn't revive it. Rip. And then
Rip, dude.
I'm saying rip, yeah. He said, can you comment on Mystic Succession now that it is out and before it's already in the main topics again? Yeah, it's in the main topics. It's not good. Dildo Dragon has a video. If you go to his YouTube, we can put it in the description. But he has a video. It kind of goes through what's new on the Mystic, the passives and stuff, and then on Striker as well. And yeah, his opinion is very, very negative on it so far. He says, I want to reach my goal of hitting level 62 before reroll though. Don't have much time to grind, so it's a slow process. At 68%, I want 62 for the Kaposha earring, as I'm 238, 287 DP, 238 AP, 287 DP, and want to make a second Kaposha earring and skip getting regular tries. Yeah, that's so cool that that's even a possibility now.
That's what I did.
Do you remember, Rez, when the Kaposha ring first came out, how hyped that shit was? Like, everyone trying to get to
Yeah.
61. Like, dude, a free Tri-Crescent. And everyone's like, Tri-Crescents are just going to be sitting on buy, dude. No one's going to want them. They did sit on buy for about 24 hours.
Yeah,
And
right.
then they were gone. The Awkward Ninja says, also notice something else. Y'all's forgot guild battles exist, like the whole final battle tab. They are a PETA pain in the ass to set up, but are actually kind of fun. I figured that one out right now while reading. I was like, what the fuck is PETA? They are a PETA to set up, but are actually kind of fun. It is like a triathlon battle. You do a 10v10, then 5 1v1s, then another 10v10, and if the best 2 of 3 isn't reached, and then another 10v10 if the best 2 of 3 isn't reached. Okay. That does sound kind of fun. Dude, I wish there was we need a ladder system. Alright.
Well, you gotta show them that you want it, Frosty. Otherwise, they're not gonna waste time developing it.
Yeah. So Dildo Dragon commented, and he said something to add up to the video. Also, glad to discuss PvP in comments, which he was. He was replying to a lot of people in the comments here. He said, Mystic's hardest matchup is Awakening, Ninja, Sorc, Tamer, and Ranger. To make Mystic relevant again, you need some serious change to BSR skills. Example, replace 50% Sea Burial with Float Rising Dragon, 100% Rising Dragon with SA Wave Orb, Wolf's Frenzy and Twisted Collision protection change needs to be reverted, and Infinite Fortitude should explode right away. Should be, and should the 3-second PA, but also double its cooldown. And then vacuum change pull animation should be shortened to 0.3 seconds instead of 2, and stay for 0.4 instead of 1 second after the Mystic becomes free from animation. A rightful timing iframe lasts about 0.2 to 0.3 seconds. Will dodge it. In fighting games, it's called, and he put the Chinese character, which means the result will be based on your opponent's reaction. You can either use your iframe for first 2 seconds, use protected CC for the next 2. So either punish the Mystic for failing the grab at 0.2 or grabbed for 0.2 because the Mystic chose to delay their grab. It will be 50-50 mini game instead of a 20-80 where Mystic gotta pick 80% of the window. Baiting will also be a good way to deal with vacuum if they have this change. And then hit scan. Hit scan is what he was talking about with the perfect blow thing last week.
Yeah.
Hit scan is a smart move, but also something you have to use, unfortunately, under current BDO mechanism, because what you see may not be where the opponent is actually at on the server. Meiwa's grapple arrow is another good example. When you launch a stiff, but you are far away from your opponent, there's no guarantee the opponent is at where you see him at. Grapple arrow will bring to the exact where he is on the server. And then about Succession on Trial character, they're not releasing Succession on Trial because Succession's not balanced. With the same gear, broken damage will stick out and they will be overwhelmed by complaints. I disagree with that last part. I think especially with the new nerfs that came out, I feel like Trial characters would be fine. They need to put it. I just think it's not out because all the Successions aren't out, so it wouldn't be fair that some classes get to use them and some don't. The Awkward Ninja says, part of what makes it hard to deal with vacuum is how it sheathes your weapons after being fixed half a dozen times. I actually don't run into that anymore, but maybe you guys do. When you get vacuum?
Not necessarily when on vacuum, but I did literally just sometime last week in an RBF had a Mystic put my weapons away when she CC'd me. I was like, what the fuck, dude? This bug still is around. Please.
Yeah. I mean, sheathing, there's two things. Sheathing and fall animation, I really think it should just be removed from the game. If you want to sheath your weapon to role play, add a hotkey that lets me do it, but your weapon should never ever ever be sheathed unless you specifically tell the game to sheath it. Just ever. It shouldn't be possible. And same with falling. When you fall, the distance where you get the falling animation where your character's flailing its arms and where when you land it does a slow get up animation should be
forever.
jumping the top of like a Heidel building all the way to the ground, like the highest Heidel building. It should never be from Twisted Collision. Like
Yeah.
that, so or dashing down a hill. Like none of that shit should ever have a falling animation. I hate it. He says, and yeah, they should fix how the vacuum works. Like it just sucks you in, but before the Mystic does the Hadouken thing after the wavy hands animation, you should be able to move there and not be stuck. Changing that is a good idea. Removing it will make less geared Mystics reroll a different class, which sucks if you really love Mystic. I mean, they already have, dude. Origami says, another great podcast. LOL, I agree with Dildo quite a bit here. Non-game related question. How weird is it when people get to know you through podcasts, but you obviously don't get to know them, like it's a one-sided conversation. They learn all about you one-sided and feel like a sort of familiarity that is seemingly sudden, and then the other side is also could resent you for something you said because they can't answer you, or you can't explain something if they misunderstand. I guess I haven't really thought about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like I don't know if you bother with this, Frosty, because you're kind of like an old man. But like, I like to watch a lot of Let's Plays, and it's like there is a sense of like it's a very similar feeling to like hanging out with a friend, even though you're just watching someone like play a game or like a group of friends play a game. But like the feeling of it still feels like exactly the same as if I was playing a game with my friend. You know what I'm saying? So it is one-sided, but at the same time it's like it's all for entertainment, right? Like at the end of the day. Like that's why you kind of, if you had to classify like people that do Let's Plays on YouTube as something other than just entertainers, I would honestly say it would probably have to be comedians, because what else would you say they are? Like they're playing a game and usually 9 times out of 10 like cracking jokes and shit. So what's the difference between like someone doing that or like someone who runs a podcast and a professional comedian? Like the stage they're on? I mean, it's really, I don't know, it's no different than any other part of our culture, like celebrity culture.
Right.
Like, I know a lot of shit about Drew Brees, and I like Drew Brees as a person. He doesn't know goddamn nothing about me.
I think he does. By the way, do you when someone comes up to you and says something to you, is it weird to you? Like that interaction?
Well, in real life, it hasn't happened yet.
Well, no, I mean in game. In game is real life, all right?
Yeah. No, it's not weird. People will oftentimes like they'll see me type in chat, or like I'll just go running through like Veli or Heidel or something, and I'll just see like, "Yo, Rizlar, I love the podcast," and I'll just stop and type like, "Hey, thanks," or like I actually fight a lot of people that watch the podcast in Node Wars, so it's like I'll kill someone or they'll kill me, and they'll be like, "Love the podcast." It's like, thanks.
Yeah. I saw something.
I don't think it's weird personally, but who knows?
Yeah, someone said something weird to me yesterday too. Someone was like, "Wait a minute, what the fuck? Why is Frosty murking in Camel? 3 days ago he was in Vexus. 4 days ago he was at a Black Rose trial, and now today he's murking in Camel. I'm super confused."
He swaps guilds and characters.
Dude. Could you imagine how broke Frosty would be if you had to pay $30 every time you wanted to change guilds?
All right, I've actually been in the same guilds for a long time. Like the shortest I've ever been in a guild was probably I was in Cozy for only 1 day, but like before that, not counting that, because that was just, sometimes you join a guild and it's not your cup of tea. But like Hex, I mean, I was basically in Hex for 2 years, and then
but you've also joined Hex 3 different times?
Yeah, 3 times. So the first time I was in it for 6 months, I left, and then went to Hiki, Hikikomori back in the day, 2017, and then I went back to Hex, and then I went to left and went to Black Rose, and then I left Black Rose and went to Vexus, and then after a while in Vexus went back to Hex, and then I went back to Vexus, and now I'm in Galaxy.
And then next week you'll be in Cho Nation.
Yeah, dude, Galaxy's actually a really fun guild. I like those guys. They're all toxic as fuck, but it's fun.
Isn't it all just a bunch of old fucking Snake and Cho and Black Rose and shit?
There's some old Cho people, a couple old Black Rose people,
Or no,
and-
Notorious. I think that's what it was.
yeah, and a few Notorious, like 5 or 10 Notorious people, and then now a lot of like old Hex people. So yeah, it's an assortment of guilds that failed, you know.
The ultimate merge, dude.
Yeah.
The ultimate merge.
Let's see. Part of what makes. Oh yeah, okay. So this guy, the awkward ninja, says part of what. Oh yeah, the sheath weapon thing, and then he said if they could fix the physics on it or at least make it cleaner, then it would be less hated mechanic. Also, for any mystics, did you just like Mystic because it was insanely good, or did you actually like the class even if it isn't insane? I'm gonna answer that. I actually hated the class when it was really busted because of that reason. Like one of the reasons it wasn't fun is back then it was like I couldn't even get people to duel with me. It was so busted, like even more than like fuck I gotta duel a ninja. Like people are like, dude, even if I catch this Mystic, he's not going to die, and he doesn't even have gear. Like that's how it used to be for Mystic. So it wasn't fun then. But I think that Mystic just has some of the coolest animations and sound effects. I really do. So that's why I wish it was
anyone Mystic Frosty water animations.
I know, dude. Making fun of
Dude,
me.
dude, that shit caught me. So, for anyone who doesn't know, I posted something in the Discord. It was just a random comment that I found on Reddit out of nowhere that just said, anyone Mystic Frosty water animations. And I fucking died because I just wasn't expecting to find that. It fucking killed me, bro.
I have no interest in the Mystic because of that, even if it is OP. Like, why didn't they give it water animations, dude? Its pre-awaken animations are so boring. This guy Kenichi says, I like the class's aesthetics and the Kung Fu waterbender shit that looks like you're throwing a dildo to your enemy. And yeah, they should fix how vacuum works. Like, it just sucks you in, but before the Mystic does the Hadouken thing, the wavy hands animation, you should be able to move, not stuck. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I think I read that one already. Okay, so I'm Legendary Mike says, Lamau, Reslar, you're an idiot. I didn't play back when Valk was OP. I wanted a main Valk back when I started, but the grind feels bad. I main Kuno, but now leaning towards Guardian. She feels really good. What's the backstory with you and Legendary Mike?
Did you really say Lamau? Saying laugh my ass off in a word as a word?
Did I or him?
Yeah, you said Lamau.
He said it, not me.
No,
He said Lamau Reslar with quotes, you're an idiot, like Reslar said it to him.
Yeah, because that was the guy who commented last episode. He said, call me an idiot, but, and I was like, all right, you're an idiot.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
He asked us to, I mean.
Nayashe got confused. So this guy said LMAOO Reslar.
Oh, so it wasn't even, you didn't even say it right. It's not Lamau, it's Lamu.
It's Lamau. Small dick stole
That's
your
just the
girl.
first I've ever heard someone say it like that.
Reslar says it like that all the time. That's where I first heard it.
Lol.
I actually didn't even know what he was saying the first few times. I was like, why is Reslar saying meow all the time? It's like fucking pretending to be a cat? What is he doing?
Like, what's that clip of like that fat kid like eating peanut butter on the stairs or some shit? Or it's like cake or something, and he goes, meow! He's trying to act like a cat. Have you seen that?
No, and I don't want to. Please don't send
Oh,
that to me.
dude, it's so funny.
Small Dick Stole Your Girl said, when this dude told me Musa counters Mystic, then this video pops up the next day. Straight gold, laughing my fucking ass off. Limphao. AKA Limphao. Musa counters Mystic. So Dilda replied, "You'd be surprised. 99% of mystics do not use the vacuum the way I do or utilize it to 100%. Without rifle execution vacuum, it's actually pretty hard to fight against Musa as a mystic. It would be a patience game. By the way, I love your name."
What, small dick stole your girl?
Yeah, he likes his name. Clayton Alexander says the earring def needs +1 more AP. The whole thing is contingent on the fact that Pen RC is pretty cheap and obtainable. So you have really a point where you either have to get one of these at Penn or they end up cheaper, the same price relatively as RC, which is the price of dirt. And then they are very end game spot. I could be wrong, but I would expect the price of these things to plummet right out of the gate, and this spot be pretty lackluster as a result. Plus, stars end right up the street. Dildo says, yeah, it'll be a very awkward situation. A lot of classes need accuracy. I mean, again, I just think it's very, very end game. Like, one of the reasons people don't really pay for Pen RC is because it's limited at 12 AP. So I think having 14 actually is kind of a big deal.
Well, because it's been basically more or less proven that the AP will ultimately mean more for you in such a major amount of areas, such as PvE,
Right.
large scale. Because when you actually do connect a hit, you'll actually be impactful versus their DR or their lack of DR. Because if they go full evasion but they don't have max DR value, then they get hit harder.
And whether we like to admit it or not, people are starting to get to the point where they're over 300 AP, like a lot of people. So the next logical upgrade after they get their defense up or pen armors and stuff is just accuracy. Like,
accuracy.
It's the only thing that's going to make you directly just do more damage. So
yeah.
Travis says, at Small Dick Stole Your Girl, there are no pens that sit on the market on Xbox. 9 out of 10 times, pens are being traded between Siege guilds before being listed. I could definitely see pens sitting on PS4 market, considering they don't have as much silver in the economy yet, but that's not the case with Xbox. Ooh, sick burn, dude. I'm just kidding.
Why?
I'm kidding.
Did PS4 come out after Xbox?
Yeah, long after. It was like 4 or 5 months. Maybe 6 months.
See, I wasn't paying attention, so I didn't actually know that.
Hoop22 says,
I thought he was just talking shit. You know how like we used to do back in the day on Eden and Uno and stuff?
Dude,
it was like, yeah, Eden's pretty good at PvP, but they're not geared because they just spend all their time fighting instead of grinding.
That shit should be cross-platform between the consoles, honestly. Hoop22 says, oh my god, dude, yes, I grind History at Arsha, and if Snake owns it, I'm making Imperial crates till they don't. So anything, it's like, or so annoying, it's like they're afraid of 1v1s, and when you ask them duel for spot, they act like History is rightfully theirs since their guild owns Valencia, making you seem crazy for even asking. My guildie, or Kenichi Sai says, my guildie said open world PvP rankings should be added. Thoughts? Open world PvP rankings? I don't even know how they would do that. But arena rankings, yeah.
I mean, I could see that, but the thing is you would have to have some sort of like cooldown or something to prevent it from being abused. Because what's to say me and Frosty don't just go meet up on top of some mountain in Dragon and he just keeps murdering me to get his score up. So you have to make sure it's not abusable. Because even if there's no rewards in it, people will still abuse it to get their name on something. I mean, look at the guild boss timers. Like guilds were like exploiting to do it faster just so that they could say they were number one, even though they cheated.
So Valicio says good times. Talented sniper.
Good times indeed.
Talented sniping says thanks boys, good show, keep it up. I know it's a lot of work. He also said
it's not.
He also said, yeah, stuff is cheap on console, but the frames are so bad you can't use it, so rip.
Well, hopefully that optimization patch helped.
And then he said, Frosty, bro, you gotta share that bong so res doesn't get tilted. Lamau. I think he's saying I'm more the positive one because I'm high.
Yeah. I mean, you live in California, isn't everyone high just from like the fumes over there?
Basically, yeah. And then some idiot.
Yo, by the way, is that you guys doing all right over there with that whole coronavirus thing?
We drink them on the beach.
Okay, not wrong Corona.
No, I think I actually haven't heard any news about it after the first couple cases, so I'm gonna assume it's
I heard
expunged.
the first.
Just kidding.
I saw something that said the first U.S. citizen to die of coronavirus died the other day, like Friday, I think.
Well, way to bring the fucking podcast down, dude.
Hey, man, we're a news organization.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look into it. We'll have an update on that next week's episode. Nayashe says, I hate this guy, by the way. I don't know why he even comments. Nayashe says, remove vacuum in PvP, which I'm okay with. Even Dildo said it's a free win. All right. He said he gets a free win. Other mystics don't.
No, they do.
He said also, wait to cast iframe doesn't work when you linger there longer than the mystic, and the mystic does AoE CCSA skills like Rage Hammer in front of you and then grab after. All right, you can't Rage Hammer after vacuum. This is what Nayashe, I don't even know if he knows what he's talking about. Basically,
All right, they do mass destruction, or they do the AoE smackdown. I don't know the names, but maybe it is Rage Hammer. But I've seen mystics do it, and they do it to me, and I can't fucking counter it.
Yeah. Basically a no-risk situation for them. It's legit my only issue with Mystic as a class. I hate mass destruction, but that's because I always get caught by its invisible AoE range. And then they kind of go back and forth for a while. It's a lot of stuff that I can't get into. But if you want to read the comments,
isn't that the one? Isn't that the comment that had like 10 replies of just Nayashe and some other guy? I think you chimed in at some point.
No, I chimed in on a different one.
Oh, it was a different one?
So Ritzer, yeah, we'll get to it. Ritzer McGork says, nice, thank you. Yellow says at 23, okay, we tested this vacuum set play when I was on Archer. When I got comfortable on Archer for about 15 minutes, Dildo was only able to successfully pull off this setup 40 to 50% of the time. It's not guaranteed like he was saying in the video, but if you aren't familiar with the setup, Dildo will catch you 9 out of the 10 times for sure. I fought against him so many times in AoA, so I know exactly how it works and how to avoid it. So for me personally, it was a lot easier to deal with. But newer beginner veteran players in AoA who don't fight Dildo often will easily get wrecked by this setup. Not many mystics use this trick either. It's heavily abusable. Yeah, so get good, Nayashe. And then and then Edemox as pings 14-minute and says Musa and Mayo has different CC on Dragon Bite. Okay. So let's talk about this real quick.
Oh, this is the one.
This is the one. This is the one.
So, Nayashe, your stance, you were saying, yep, Mystic and Striker aren't the only ones. Because originally Dildo said, what classes do you know have the same skill that do different things? So,
correct.
You were saying, go ahead with the Musa Mewan one, is...
Well, Dragon Bite, where...
Dragon Bite's one. Okay.
They have different CC types. One stun, one stiff.
Right.
Musa, Mewa, respectively.
Now... do you think it's fair that one could argue that either of those CCs could be viewed as better than the other, depending on the player, the style, and what they're good at?
Yes, but when you're thinking about things like, for example, when you catch someone with an engaged skill, what gives you more time to set up and do things and maneuver around to actually follow up on that, especially in a 1vx scenario or large scale?
A stun.
Okay, so there we go. That would be why I would say one arguably is better than the other.
Now, but you could also make the counter argument that with the stiffness, you can now get the float and then an additional refloat. So your maximum damage potential is way higher with the stiffness.
Well, then I could focus on more back attacks to follow up after the D-bite, arguably, rather than going for a double float combo. Back attacks generally have really high damage output as well. They don't have the modifier of 2.0 versus 1.5 that a back attack or air attack versus back attack does, but air attacks are also kind of gated by our cooldowns, especially when you consider the like Red Moon. I like to use more aggressively because it acts as a way for me to kind of like semi-engage, but it doesn't always necessarily need me to follow up with another CC. If I were to get a stun and then one float, I wouldn't need necessarily have a stiff float. It's just how we had to do it traditionally because that's what we have.
All right, and then the second example was, I think someone named another 2 skills. Blaze. Musa Blaze is SA, and on Mewa it's Ascension. Right? But you're saying it's the same skill, right? But basically one's good and one's bad?
Correct.
Okay, so here's my 2 arguments with both of those examples. The first one, I still think you can make an argument either way. Even if you feel strongly about one way or the other, at least an argument can be had. And in the second example, at least they had the decency to name them something different. And then
yeah,
with the Mystic and Striker, you have skills that for a year and a half did the exact same thing, and then they removed Frontal Guard. And there is no Striker ever in the world that's like, I'd rather have the Mystics version because blank. It's just not a thing. They both need Frontal Guard, dude. And they both actually need the cooldown
I
increased.
agree. Like, as far as like them needing a Frontal Guard, I wasn't saying anything about that. I'm just disproving that whole like, oh, this is the only class that has this problem.
I mean, it's the only class with the exact same skill name where one of them literally doesn't have anything and the other one does. It's kind of odd.
And, well, I mean, all right. So take Blaze, Musa's Blaze,
okay,
which gains a super armor with the mechanic, their mechanic, and does massive increased range as well as massive damage.
Wait, you're talking about?
It doesn't CC.
You're talking about blue buff?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that, I mean, that's like, oh, I just mean the base skill. I mean, obviously, like, you can make an argument for, I don't know
if the base skill in Succession is actually protected or not. I think it's only on the blue mechanic. I'll have to double check. Maybe it is protected.
At the end of the day, I just think that Mystics should have Frontal Guard on their Twisted and just make the cooldown for both Mystic and Striker a little bit longer than what it is. That was my only point.
Yeah.
Also, I don't want to get in the middle of this, but how technical are we being with the whole same skill thing?
I mean, I feel like Nayashe is being less technical. He's saying similar skills, but I'm just saying it's the exact same name with the exact same animation, and it came out the exact same time as the exact same, right. And then they nerfed one and left the other.
Well, no, you're also saying that at one point they were the same, correct?
At one point they were the exact same, yes.
Okay, at one point, and arguably you could say with Awakening Kits they are the same, but in Succession they're vastly different.
On what?
Blaze versus Ascension to Heaven.
Well, I know, but it is like just Awakening they got changed, not Succession. They removed Frontal Guard on
Succession. In Succession, they're vastly different.
No, I know, but I mean, like on Striker and Mystic, they both were in their Awakening kit, and now it's not on one of them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There you go. Then you don't have the problem.
All right, so
the example that I was going to bring up, just to add another layer of confusion onto this whole thing, was technically speaking, there's a lot of different blocks in the game that do not function the same as each other.
Well, that's a different scenario than what he's referring to.
Is it, though? This is why I asked how technical we were being.
He's talking about skills that are inherently the same, like the actual animations and everything that were typically the same.
But they were never exactly the same, because you could always turn Strikers, you could never turn Mystics.
On what? Oh, you mean
on
mass destruction? Yeah, but even then, like, the reason why I don't have too much of an issue with that one is because at least they're both good and usable, and you can make an argument either one. Because I do feel like Mystics, you still have the potential to instantly get behind someone with the way it works, and it still is a CC that's protected, you know? I don't know, like, Twisted it came out the same, it's just such a weird, I don't know. It's an odd thing. I kind of hate it.
I thought it would have been so cool if they. So let me make sure.
I remember when you said this the first time, some months ago.
Yeah, and you thought it would have been a good thing too, right?
It might have been a cool idea.
It kind of interesting. So they both have Twist Collision. They both have Mass Destruction. What if one was a protected CC for Mass Destruction, and one was a protected CC for Twisted Collision? and then the other one was like just a CC or just a like make them the opposite of each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just think mass destruction's too harsh. It'd have to be like Rage Hammer or something. Like mass destruction, you just need mass destruction in the class. It's crap. Oh, Vel, by the way, spawning
Oh shit!
like right
Gross.
now.
Fuck. I'm nowhere near.
All right, last comments. Austin Lasser says female classes always get worse grabs than male counterparts according to PA standards. They will also get less.
Meanwhile, lawn exists. Okay.
Origami says, well, I mean, males practice their grip strength starting at a much younger age. Cough, cough.
Also true.
And that's it. That's all the comments. So, yeah. I just want to say thank everybody for listening. Thank you, Deal the Dragon, last week for coming on. We're going to have a really awesome guest next week that will pertain to... I'll just give an example of one of the newer successions coming out. And the guest is going to be awesome. It'll be cool. And then make sure you follow the Discord. We're going to need guest questions for that once we announce it. And make sure you like the video and upvote it and share it with your Discords and your guilds and all that stuff. Also, don't forget to follow me at twitch.tv/SoFrosty. I stream every day in my head, in theory,
In my head.
for hours. And Nayashe also streams on twitch.tv/ShakyBay.
Oh god.
No, twitch.tv/TimAllen1337.
Yeah. Twitch.tv/Vert. And
This is toxic.
No, his
yeah.
actual Twitch is twitch.tv/Maywa.
Basically.
You dumb man.
The last of the Maywas.
The last of the Mayhecans.
Oh, jeez. All right, we're good here. Yeah, we're done.
We're good, dude.
Peace. All right, no, actually, thanks for joining us again, bud.
No, definitely.
And,
Appreciate you having
make sure you guys share the shit everywhere. Make sure you join the Discord so that way you can get updates on the podcast, future guests that we're having. If there are any delays with the podcast whatsoever, the only way you're going to be able to know that is by joining the Discord. It's the only place we post these updates. So make sure you join the Discord. Very important that you do that. If not, just so that you can have that information available to you. Thank you so much for commenting on the last episode. Make sure you comment on this one as well, and we will catch you guys later.